Adobe Acrobat Studio, your new foundation. Use PDF Spaces to generate a presentation. Grab your docs, your permits, your moves. AI levels up your pitch, gets it in a groove. Choose a template with your timeless cool. Come on now, let's flex those tools. Draft, design, deliver, make it sing. AI builds the deck so you can build that thing. Do that, do that, do that with Acrobat.
Learn more at adobe.com/do-that-with-acrobat.
Close the door to destiny. Lock it up. Throw away the key. The Patriots are dead. The Seahawks are king. There'll be no dynasty. Oh, why is it so sad?
Live from New York. Brew, I tried to show you how to do those. It's that. It's the show. That, once again, Brew, we only planned for a celebration.
I know, our bad. And, you know, I tell you what, I should have known better than to think the Ravens or the Patriots are going to win this thing.
I don't even know that you did think it, Brew.
Yeah,
I think you were just trying to be a good teammate.
I was trying to support Wilds.
Speaking of teammates.
To no avail.
Oh, no. Oh, you hate to see that. A friend.
Guys, I'm okay.
I don't know.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I've been better.
You're having real trouble.
Struggling just like the Pats.
The door.
Oh, wow.
What a
The
run.
neck brace.
What a run.
Oxygen. Wow. It's in bad shape.
You can go now. I'll never forget you. You work so hard. You're so tired. It's okay.
Again.
Wilds, we planned for a W.
I feel like
you
we should have
told us
gotten-
it was going to be a rout.
Yeah.
I feel like
It's
we
not
should
our
have gotten
fault.
Seahawks colors. This is the second year in a row. Also got legitimately sad there. Got legit. I'm such a good character actor. You're not the only actor on set. It's the first hour of First Things First, coming to you live from New York.
You okay, man?
No, I got legit sad while I was kissing the door.
I've been there.
Today, the Seahawks are the champions. What does this title mean for Super Bowl champion Sam Darnold, who, by the way, I always believed in? I get no credit now.
None.
You're absolutely right
no
about
credit.
that. None whatsoever.
Meanwhile, Drake Maye, let's be honest, not his best game. Okay? But, 295 yards in the Super Bowl. Not and all of a sudden, that's just
How much of
20
that,
years
bro?
from now, it'll look
He was
better.
no.
How
No,
much
no,
of that?
Look at
the
box
game was
score.
in the balance.
Right.
The game was in the
Gatorade
balance.
was- No,
Gatorade
not
was
quite.
getting stirred.
It was stirred, not dunked.
Yeah.
They
Okay?
were holding
They were
it,
holding
ready
it
to
in
dump
place.
it
I
on
appreciated
McDonald's.
that. And finally, thank goodness, we start to look forward to next year. And I unfortunately have to embrace the Super Bowl hangover.
Uh-oh.
It's not great. These are my celebratory glasses and the glasses I wear to sad events to cover my eyes. Guys,
Wilds. I mean, it's not our fault. You told us prepare for victory.
Yeah.
So we got all these balloons and party
Bro, how much
poppers
did
and
we have to
everything.
hear? If Matt Stafford can do it,
Exactly.
why can't Drake
Same
May
level.
do it?
that is,
Same
that is
level
a
of tomato.
that is a solid, except he can run.
Yeah,
Yeah,
did he run at
that's
all
what it was.
yesterday?
His arm hurt. Okay?
His
If
arm.
I had an
Not his
injection
legs.
Oh.
His arm.
into my vocal cords, I wouldn't be able to talk. It's gonna be a rough one, huh?
Yeah, you think?
I don't feel
Like you told me 2 months ago coming down the stairs, this is going to be a rough show for you, bro.
We're starting
That's what
with
I'm saying to you.
the poor Patriots. We got to the doorstep of destiny and we're pushed down the stairs and laughed at. Patriots punted every possession in the first half and then switched it up in the second half and started to punt and turn the ball over. Here's Mike Vrabel on his message to the team.
I'm proud of everything that they did. I'm disappointed, and just like they are, reminding them that we're 307 days into what hopefully is a long, successful relationship and program. And it's okay to be disappointed. We have to be disappointed and upset together. And, like I always do, I tell them I'm appreciative of them. I'm thankful. I'm grateful that I get to coach them.
And Brew, you picked the Patriots just like I did, perhaps just to be a good teammate.
I was trying to be a good teammate.
But you had a little belief. A little belief.
Not really. I was just trying to be a good teammate.
Okay. What went wrong at the doorstep of destiny?
Everything. Actually, no.
Still got it. I still got it.
It's still happening. It's still happening.
But the door is broken. Brew, look at the door.
Doesn't quite hit the same to be totally.
Well, Nick and I beat that part out of the door.
It doesn't open?
Yeah, you got to go around. It opens no more.
You had a good run. Sorry,
Right,
Brew.
Brew, as you were, without interruption this time.
I'm afraid to go, but at the risk of being interrupted, I will say, look, last week we talked about it. They were supposed to have a coaching advantage.
Yeah.
Mike Vrabel, Coach of the Year, over Mike McDonald. And I said, yeah, it's not a huge advantage, but this is their best advantage because I didn't think they had one anywhere else, Nick. Not in any other phase of the game.
Quarterback, you didn't think? You thought?
No, I thought Drake is better overall, but he hadn't been playing better in the playoffs.
You know what? That proved to be correct.
Yeah, exactly. Darnold's been playing better. So, but when they were out coached yesterday, Josh McDaniels, Mike Vrabel, no question about it, circles were coached around them. And once you took that away, then it was like they have no advantages whatsoever. Not on the offensive line, defensive line. They got pushed around. They got bullied. Nick, you had been calling it. Will Campbell, I mean, he got completely outclassed. He gave up 14 pressures. Yeah. The most of any player in the NFL this entire season.
In any game, not just a playoff game, in any game.
2 sacks. I mean, so he'll be a center next year or a guard maybe or something like that. Guard. Yeah, so they need to move him. But that was obviously the problem. I thought also, Wilds, I thought that the offense was overly conservative.
Yes.
And like when Drake finally hit Matt Hollins on that touchdown pass in the fourth quarter, early in the fourth, I was kind of feeling like, okay, not that they could have been doing that all game, but where were these chances, taking these chances and airing it out? I get that Seattle's defense got a little softer at that point because they had a nice lead, but still, I felt like their game plan was, we don't want Drake to make any mistakes. They were afraid of him making some turnovers, and so they went conservative and said, we believe Darnold is going to make a mistake. I thought early on Darnold threw a couple of passes.
And we're close.
That looked like, I was thinking, an interception's coming in, and maybe a pick six, the way he was throwing it.
I think that's what Vrabel was.
Yeah, so I think he was waiting for something like that, and then it obviously never occurred. And so I think that's part of the issue, Nick.
Do you want to go, KW, or you want me to go?
No, I don't want to go for the next 2 days. I'm going to Daytona on Thursday.
So listen, both teams looked exactly like they looked all playoffs.
That's true.
That's what happened. And you can say, well, the Seahawks defense wasn't dominant in the second playoff game. Man, for some reason or another, Matt Stafford, Sean McVay, that Rams offense, that personnel, that quarterback cracked this code. Nobody else did. And the Patriots, all playoffs, were a struggling offense. Now, again, I'm not sure because I got different weather for the first couple Patriots playoff games. Was there a blizzard yesterday that I missed?
I was
in Santa Clara? I'm not sure. It seemed gorgeous outside.
I know, but the TV
I'm not
can lie
certain.
a little bit.
Listen, to your point, Brew, the offensive line was a disaster. And I know everybody, Next Gen Stats 6 hours before the game put out this fact. 8.5 of the 11.5 sacks Will Campbell allowed this year were to long-arm defensive linemen. And I know that was like going into the draft, it was like, oh, a half-inch in arm length is a big. Seattle's top 3 pass rushers all have really long arms. That's who gave Will Campbell trouble all year. He was on skates the whole game. Vrabel and listen, I put the coaching edge at the top of the tiers. I think Vrabel's great. But at some point it went from coaching edge to like a propaganda machine. I had to read 3 articles within 72 hours of the Super Bowl of like, guys, guess what Vrabel did? During practice, he had a halftime. And guess what? I don't know if you know this. Super Bowl halftimes, they're long. He had him do a long halftime. And even some reports, the players could hear outside of the locker room Bad Bunny playing. It's like, oh my God, this
You
guy,
probably love
this
that.
guy, yeah, right. And their skill position guys were outclassed and outmuscled by the Seahawks defenders.
Yeah.
And their defense that was very good all year, but not great.
Right.
I don't think it was a great defensive level of Seattle, Denver, or Houston's. Had a lot of, almost. Yeah. Almost got the pick on the first pass of the game. Almost got the pick right before half. Almost got to Darnold on sacks.
That's a lot of Darnold credit, too.
Correct. Right. Darnold was able to do things Drake wasn't. And their quarterback, who I know we're going to talk about shortly, was awful. Was awful. And there's no like, yeah, but here's where he wasn't. And here's what I would say to ask you, Brew, on the conservative nature. Felt to me that the moment, because he didn't, as bad as he was early, wasn't turning the ball over.
Right.
And then it was once they started to get some big plays, the turnovers came.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't get the big plays without risking the turnovers,
Right.
and that's how it got away from them.
And I don't know if you'll agree with this or not, Wilds, but I thought this looked a lot like the Houston game, except Darnold was not imploding like C.J. Stroud.
good.
Because that early in that game, Houston's defense was playing well against the Patriots, and it looked like, man, if C.J. can get anything going, just not turn the ball over, they could win that game. Darnold, that's what he did. He didn't turn it over. They had to settle for field goals. And I think, again, with the conservative nature of the Patriots, they're thinking, and I was thinking as a guy that picked the Patriots, 3 points, okay, 6-0, you're good. You get a touchdown, you're in control of the game. Now, when it got to 9 or 12, it felt like, okay, and the offense isn't doing anything. But, yeah, I think those were a lot of the problems.
Okay.
KW.
Just go for it. Let's just get the show on the road, everybody.
From doorstep of destiny to the doorstep of a dumpster.
A dumpster?
That's where the door's going. Where are we going to keep
Yeah,
it?
I mean, we beat the heck.
Oh, they're back! Again. Oh, they're coming through the door. Bro.
Absolute. Love this. Yes! Wow, you
Again, like you said last year, we had already paid for them. We'd already booked it. We can't
a
waste the
veritable
money.
party up in
We're
here.
in lean times.
Yeah, we can't waste the
Can't
stuff.
waste it.
I mean, my
Just
goodness.
like last year.
That would have been sick, though, if we won.
Yeah.
It would have been great.
Gosh,
Can
darn
you
it.
imagine how festive things would have been?
Moving on to the quarterback. If you told me that Drake Maye had thrown for 295 yards, two touchdowns, while adding almost 40 yards rushing, I would have thought I'd be covered in confetti and balloons. Which he did, and which I am, but be careful what you wish for. Here's Drake.
They got good players at all 3 levels. That's the biggest thing. They got good players at all 3 levels, and they made more plays than we did. And I got to make better throws and move in the pocket and change the launch point and do a lot of things at a better level for us to win.
This guy was going to his senior prom a few years ago. Give him a break. This game changed the way you viewed 23-year-old Drake Maye.
Yeah, of course, a little bit. It's an all-time.
Positively?
it's an all-time bad playoff run for an MVP candidate. And by the way, we might all owe Sam Monson and those 2 Josh Allen voters a big thank you.
Oh, give me a break.
Because
That's too far. I was waiting for this to go too far.
He could have won.
I'm saying
Right.
he was a deserving candidate, but had he just won, if he had won MVP 3 days prior over Stafford, when we saw how Stafford looked against this Seattle defense, it would have felt some type of way.
Worse.
And so listen,
He's fortunate.
Does not mean he is not a great quarterback or will not be a great quarterback. It simply means this playoff run will go down in history as one of the worst playoff runs by an individual MVP candidate quarterback. Like I'll just go through them. Regular season, he's completing 72% of his passes. Playoffs, 58%. That passer rating drop of 31 points, touchdown reception ratio, passer rating drop of 31 points is the largest in 30 years. And yes, those guys, of course, to have a drop, it means you have to have a high number, but still, that is a massive drop, and the only quarterback on there that we look at as, perennial MVP candidate is Peyton Manning, who, by the way, was a guy who didn't play his best in the playoffs. The reason I am not going to fall into the shoulder stuff as much as others is what made Drake Maye early in the year so special was the deep balls, and that went away at Halloween. Drake Maye, the first 2 months of the year, was on a legendary deep ball heater. The last November, December, January, 3.5 months of the year, that's bad. 34% is bad. 5 touchdowns, 4 picks is actually okay. 78 passer rating's bad, which is why, don't show this one yet, but briefly this show had a flirtation with EPA. We liked it, but we didn't use it.
And you said it's nonsense. And you said no one likes it.
You got mad at me for
100%.
Can I tell you?
100%.
Before I took you up on it, I said, that's a silly stat. I don't need to pay attention to it.
That's fine. However, a big part of the Drake Maye MVP case was EPA and all that.
All that stuff, the nerds.
Well, listen,
keep it real.
Here are the 6 worst EPA postseasons on record. It's Drake Maye this year by a lot. Peyton Manning, the corpse of Peyton, the old Peyton's last year in Denver. Rex Grossman, Flacco is, I think, rookie or second year. Goff when McVay was getting ready to get him out of town, and Kerry Collins. And by the way, minus 29.2 is a huge number compared to the others. So do I still think, Brew, he is going to be a perennial elite quarterback? I do. But now, next time he enters the postseason, be it next year or the year after, whenever it is, we will still be awaiting his first excellent playoff game. Like, that's where we're at.
Well, here's some good news for you, Wild.
Sure, I'll take it.
One of the saving graces for Drake Maye, when you look at all these charts that you put together, Nick, is that Peyton Manning's on them. That really does help him.
Oh, yeah.
Because everybody else, Rex Grossman, all these other guys, so that helps him. Your numbers are your numbers, and they're right. I don't think, though, the public at large is looking at him like he had one of the worst postseasons ever. I don't think that's the general image. I feel like the general thought is he wasn't great, but hey, he's in his second year. He got him to the Super Bowl way ahead of schedule. Good job. All right. Now, it has changed the view of him a little for me in this regard. I still think he'll be a very good quarterback. I think his future is bright and all of that. I don't, however, to me, and we talked about this the last 2 weeks, he doesn't enter next season for me as a top 5 quarterback. I think it's the 4 we've always had, Patrick, Josh, Lamar, Burrow, and Stafford. He's definitely in that tier 2, but I can't put him like Nick's.
No,
I don't think he was as bad as Nick.
Joe Burrow and Lamar had a perfect postseason. No interceptions.
But at least they've had
one turnover.
But regular season does have to count. We don't just overlook regular season.
I agree. Well, but Drake Maye had a better regular season than everybody.
This year he did.
No, then he ran into the top. No one has ever had a harder path in the playoffs. I know we kick around like, oh, this is a harder path, like defensively.
And he played like
but he didn't do anything.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not willing to just discard. But no one has ever played this amount of defenses.
Here's the thing. When he had, and again, I'm not saying he doesn't have a bright future and all that. I'm just saying I was thinking next year he's top 5. Now I'm looking at him like I looked at Jaden and Caleb. Jaden had one great year. Caleb has had a very good year this year. Drake has done it one season.
You should support
let's see.
Well,
let's see what he does.
Here's the problem.
I think he'll be great, but let's see it.
It's a little bit.
Are you ready to secure him as being elite?
If you show me
I can't secure him in the elite category right now.
Finals loss LeBron had, where in the 3 rounds leading up to it, he was bad and carried by his teammates.
Different
and then
sports,
bad in the
but
finals.
you know what I'm saying.
I agree with you on that. But here, KW, this is not the day to let KW off the hook. So that's Brew. I'm going to tell you where the only misstep you made there. KW, in your own personal quarterback rankings, forget Burrow and Lamar. What about Drake versus Darnold?
No, look, Drake. If you're not saying Drake Maye if he would have won the Super Bowl, he would have an argument for the best and/or top 5. And if he would have played great, I'd be like, he has an argument.
He plays great, yeah.
And he played. He didn't play well. He got sacked 21 times. It's the most in playoff history.
Yeah.
So he played a bunch of
the most.
It wasn't great.
Those sacks.
I can't really make an argument. He also can't feel his shoulder. I feel like
I don't even want to hear about that. I mean, he's not the first player to get shot up and play a game.
And
it's just. I will give you one place it may have affected it. Maybe
throwing the ball.
Running the ball. He did not run as much as I thought he should have. And when he did run, he wasn't running with his typical.
I promised I would I'd be a good sport.
Well, I lasted last year until the final 5 minutes of the show. We got more than 5 minutes left in the A block, so you might need to rally. Which, luckily, listen, we had that Drake Maye song.
How many of these do we have?
Well, and that Drake Maye song was because Brew. Remember his nickname was Drake Maye.
Yeah.
Did we?
I just have a suggestion for a new nickname. Drake, maybe he wasn't actually as good as Stafford and was a product of scheduling carried by his defense all postseason. We all need to slow down his coordination a bit. Maye. Doesn't roll. Now, I will say this, and I thought you were going to go here in your defense of him. Will Campbell was out there dancing, Brew, the whole game. He was on his back foot. He was on the ground. KW?
Gosh darn it. I have a confession to make. Now that we're just being totally transparent, airing it out. Mm-hmm. Speaking of dancing, 1, I made this Super Bowl champions hat about the Door of Destiny. Okay? 2, remember when we had that break dancer?
That was you.
It wasn't me. It was one of the break dancers that we usually use for the Dolphins, but he dressed up as me.
Come in!
Oh, wow.
It wasn't really me.
It wasn't Will Campbell?
It was you.
No.
It looks like Will Campbell.
That was a new move.
Oh, he's nice.
Remember this?
Wow, you betrayed the audience.
I thought that was you.
My mom thought it was me.
Wow. That man getting down and in a suit, too.
Yeah, that wasn't me. And
I like it.
But he's fantastic.
Yeah, you're doing a great job.
Excellent stuff.
Maybe he can help a couple of your offensive linemen
now,
with
is he
their
a
footwork.
Seahawk right now?
No, it's an IT.
He's dressed
you guys
as wild
are break
still.
dance.
Great job, buddy.
Excellent work.
Thank you.
You guys are the break dancers.
I appreciate all the work you put into it. We got a suit and everything.
KW, you know to cheer you up?
No. Gosh darn it.
We already bought them. We got to use them.
Gotta use them.
Let's check in.
It has to rain confetti on you.
Let's check in on some fair takes on the Patriots season from our friends at the New York Post. Imposter syndrome. Patriots fraud whispers come back to haunt them with Super Bowl reality check. And for our friends on the podcast, it's Drake just being terrorized and looking told.
It's like the picture of Mahomes, except he's not getting hit in the face.
It's just
like
a disaster. Did this lopsided disaster prove the Patriots skeptic right, bro?
No, I don't think so. They did face 3 great defenses, 3 top 10 defenses. who in the AFC, honestly, this year was better? Buffalo can't stick out his chest.
Denver might have a claim.
With Buffalo. Denver might have a claim, but, and I do think with Bo Nix, maybe they beat the Patriots.
Offensive line,
They
honestly,
probably, with Bo Nix, put up a better fight yesterday.
Probably.
But
hate to say it.
Still, their offense struggled throughout the season too.
Yeah.
And Buffalo can't jump bad because they split with you. You beat them in their place. So nobody, the Chargers were, you beat them.
Yeah.
Nobody in the AFC North. So the AFC was just down in general this year. What it does expose, though, is that you played good defenses. You didn't play any good offenses in the playoffs. And not very many in the regular season either. Like I said, had C.J. Stroud just been solid, maybe Houston wins that game. Obviously, you face Jarrett Stidham. We don't even have to talk about that. And Justin Herbert has yet to play a good playoff game. So the first time, your defense was good.
I know.
Your defense was very good.
Yeah.
The first time you faced a quarterback who did not beat himself or was a legitimate starter, you lost going away.
Yeah.
So that's what it exposed, that you didn't play any good offenses, but your defense was solid even yesterday.
Defense was, listen, of course the skeptics were at least somewhat correct, because there is every year someone has to play the easiest schedule. That doesn't necessarily mean that is historically easy. Every team could play a near identical schedule and someone will have played the easiest. But when you've played the easiest schedule this century, that raises some eyebrows. When your splits offensively, which is where going into the playoffs we thought the Patriots' strength was, their offense, their MVP candidate quarterback. When these are your splits offensively, winning teams versus non-winning teams, I think we can show it to you. That's where it's like, oh. Against teams below 500, you scored 30 a game, and your quarterback had a 118 rating.
This is regular season?
This is the whole year.
A whole year.
And against teams above 500, you scored 19 a game, and your quarterback had an 86 rating. That's where I think some of the skepticism bears out, where those of us that said, shout out to the committee for naming the NFC Championship teams tier the real Super Bowl, that the two best teams in the league this year were Seattle and the Rams. And they did play 3 times, 3 close nip-and-tuck games, and nobody that came out of the AFC was going to give Seattle that much of a run, KW.
I don't have any pushback on that.
Really?
You know what?
We got crushed, man. We got absolutely crushed. The only thing I was trying to, gosh darn it, we got crushed. When we talked about on Friday, we're like, what's the worst case scenario? What's the worst case scenario? And it's like a Patriots blowout that they don't look like they belong on the field.
Yeah.
Where I start getting nervous at halftime, I start getting nervous. I got nervous our second possession. I'm like, oh, we're going to lose this game. So I had this stupid easiest schedule graphic. Who cares?
Well, can I show you a different graphic?
No, I'll put my graphic up.
All right, do Wild's
We made the
graphic.
Super
guys
Bowl.
were the
The
king
99,
of the tomato cans.
the 99 Rams had an easy schedule and they won the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, you had that.
7. If we had, I guess this is my take. If we had won, it would have been erased. No one talks about the 72 Dolphins. Like, they had an easy schedule,
Well,
right?
they also went undefeated. They're the only undefeated team.
But no one talks about the
Yes,
easiest schedule.
you're right.
99 Rams, no one says
Yeah,
easiest
of
schedule.
course, that's what we
91
said.
Bills, no one says easiest.
KW,
But like you lose the Super Bowl, like, you know what that is? Easy schedule.
Yeah, of
so
course.
one game cost us the whole narrative of the season.
Now-
maybe it'll burn off, but right now it stings.
On the bright side,
You're the king of the
Drake
tomato
Maye, though, did, to Brew's point, if we show his numbers, he did rally late. And, this is, not the first half, Dust. That's not what I wanted to show. Drake Maye by drive, sorry. But Drake Maye,
Fourth quarter, he's
in the
crushing.
fourth quarter,
Mahomesian
right, so
out there.
we can take it off. Don't worry about the graphic. There it is. Drake Maye, final 6 drives. Yes, 3 turnovers, but 266 yards.
That's
I mean, it's unbelievable. And it's
Tore it
while
all
they were
off.
stirring the Gatorade.
No, not all of the yards were while they
Ain't no fun when the rabbits got the Gatorade, KW.
That's not what happened.
I'm just telling you.
That's not what happened.
I'm just telling you.
Oh, no, I love
was
these
an F
guys.
game, Wild.
Gosh darn
It
it.
was an F game.
I hope I get to sing F game.
You do.
Throw away the key. The Patriots are dead. The Seahawks are king. There'll be no dynasty. Oh, why is it so sad? He's on one knee, crying, crying, crying of what was to be. But one thing's for sure, only one thing. Tom Brady's still the GOAT.
That's actually wow. Always beautiful, if not painful. I didn't even get to say game. The roast continues after that was a rough half hour.
We got to get rid of
I don't
it.
think
We
we're
gotta
done
get rid
yet,
of all this
KW.
stuff.
Oh no, we
got a lot of these left. They got to walk through the door. It's the last time the
Sam
door's going to
Darnold.
be used.
Oh goodness.
Let's celebrate! We got a new Super Bowl champ!
I did not enjoy that. I thought it was going to be more fun than it was. I hated that. More first things first after the break. Gosh darn it, thank you for coming, but I hated it.
I'm all out.
Nearly home. Isn't home where we all want to be? Reba here for Realtor.com, the pros' #1 most trusted app. If you're hearing me, I'm going to assume you're awake. And if you aren't, because while you're snoozing, someone else might be finding your dream home. That's where Realtor.com comes in. With over 500,000 new real listings straight from the pros every month, that's a lot of chances to find the place you've been dreaming of. Whether you're searching for a 2-story mid-century with a pool or a little extra space with a spa-inspired bathroom, Realtor.com can help you find it today. So quit hitting that snooze button. Realtor.com isn't sleeping on finding your dream home, and neither should you. Download the Realtor.com app today, 'cause you're nearly home. Make it real with Realtor.com.
Pros #1 most trusted app based on August 2024 proprietary survey. Over 500,000 new listings every month based on average new for sale and rental listings. February 2024 through January 2025.
Guess what? First things first, live from the Daytona 500 Thursday and Friday. Joining the show, Jeff Gordon, Chase Elliott, Joey Logano, my guy. You know I'm a Logano guy.
Everybody knows that.
Ryan Blaney, and more. First things first, live from the Daytona 500 Thursday and Friday. No news on the jumpsuit, but I'm going to check into
I'm wondering. I'm hoping.
Seahawks are the champions. Darnold threw for 202 and took care of the ball. Kenneth Walker had 161, took home the MVP.
Great game.
Seattle's defense dominant. Super Bowl history. I mean, look at this graphic. Under 14 points allowed and 6 or more sacks. The 15 Broncos, the 89 49ers, right there with the 85 Bears. So Greg Jennings joins us now. Greg, I just got roasted for a half an hour, so we're going to switch it up a little bit. Yeah. What was your #1 takeaway from the Seahawks win?
It was the lack of in-game adjustment by Josh McDaniels.
Oof.
By Josh McDaniel. I obviously, everyone understands who the Seattle Seahawks are. They can pressure with 4. Mm-hmm. They don't bring a tremendous amount of additional pressures. They obviously did. You saw that. You know that your offense, specifically the left side of your offensive line, they're young, rookies. They struggle. They're going to struggle probably against this defensive front.
Right.
You would have thought, okay, we're going to have some type of adjustment just in case. Well, as the game starts to progress, we see they're starting to bring blitzes off of the slot receiver. Now, as a receiver, and Stephon Diggs did this a couple times just off of instinct, natural reaction is I peek hot. If somebody blitzes off my face, I'm going to give my quarterback an immediate outlet right now. We never saw any of that. So all of this idea of did the offensive line play poorly? Yes. Specifically the left side, the young guys, absolutely. Did Drake Maye play poorly? Yes. Josh McDaniels could have helped by saying, Drake, this is what we're going to do. We're going to make an adjustment. If they start to bring blitzes off the slot receiver, we're just going to hit them because the safety can't get there to help. Yeah. We're going to force them to adjust to us. And they were getting out of the huddle. That first possession, they were getting out of the huddle with 21 seconds on the play clock. That very first possession, I'm like, okay, they're giving Drake Maye enough time to assess what's going on, process things, make any adjustments that's needed, if needed. He gets sacked. He scrambles. It's 3rd and 9. They get out of the huddle late. They bring the first blitz with Witherspoon. And it's like you didn't even give him a chance to try to see it, make an adjustment, but it happened for the duration of the game. Yeah. There was no adjustment. And it blows my mind when coordinators or coaches say, we're going to get it at halftime. We're going to get it. No, you get to the sideline, and the first thing we grab is these iPads, and we look at it, and we say, okay, if we see this, this is what we're going to do. Make the adjustment now. We're professionals. You have to, this game is too important to wait. Like, you obviously got caught off guard. Counterpunch with something they never did. And I blame Josh McDaniels for that. Now, not solely and exclusively, but he deserves a lion's share of the blame for what we saw or the lack of what we saw offensively.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. We thought he would have the answers, right? This is his 10th Super Bowl. We thought he'd have the answers for Drake Maye. He didn't. And Bill Barnwell made a great point in his article today about how they blitzed with Witherspoon, which they had not done a lot of Nick this season. Right.
Amari, yeah.
And to your point, he blitzed 7 times. Once he got a sack, and then once he got that, whatever you want to call it, where it was the interception turned into a pick six.
Would have been another.
Yeah, so they never adjusted to that. So Drake did not play well. Receivers weren't really open, but there were times he just missed guys.
Yes.
Where guys were open, he overthrew them or underthrew them, then missed guys. And he held the ball long too. Mm-hmm. But Josh did not help him out at all, did not provide him with any answers, which leads me to my biggest takeaway was just Seattle's defense. Because as I said earlier, Patriots defense was played well enough to win a Super Bowl. They only gave up 22 points. We know 5 field goals, only 1 touchdown, and that was on a short field after Drake had a turnover. But Seattle's defense was just so dominant, and being able to get pressure with 4 obviously means they could cover the receivers. And so now I don't put it statistically, and maybe it's one of the all-time great defenses. I don't put it like at the top, like the Ravens in 2000 or something. I don't put it in a group like that. But this defense was the story of the game. Of course. Patriots was good too. And the difference is the Patriots quarterback made mistakes, 3 turnovers, and couldn't generate any offense, somewhat because of McDaniels. And Seattle at least generated some degree of offense or enough to win the game.
Yeah, so I think maybe I'll make you feel a little better. Maybe not. You might get angrier. I'm not sure. But I'm not going to blame Josh McDaniels as much as you guys because nobody could deal with that Seattle defense except for one coach-quarterback combo.
Correct.
And I know we spent a lot of last week discussing why can't Drake Maye do what Matt Stafford does, and the answer is because he can't yet.
Yeah.
Because he's not 37. He hasn't been in the league 15 years. He, as good as McDaniels is, he doesn't have Sean McVay. Puka and Devontae are not Diggs and Booty, and you just can't. Right. And the biggest reason I think we are not including Seattle amongst those all-time defenses is because the Rams beat them up a couple times.
Points to the Rams.
But when you look
Baker,
at, you know what, Baker the one game, but Baker, everyone other than Stafford is 15 a game. It's 17 touchdowns, 21 picks. It's a 74 rating. And this is also where, like, it is no young quarterback succeed against Mike McDonald. They are now 1-10. They score less than 16 points a game. They have a 2 to 3 touchdown to turnover ratio. They have passer rating below 70. And any quarterback of any age, KW, the first time they see Mike McDonald's defense, gets beat up.
Yeah.
And that dates back to his time. So
even this
Josh
year, Stafford
McDaniels
wasn't
is
good this year, the first time.
Well, and the first time he played him would have been last year. It's the first time you ever go against them, not
Gotcha.
season
I'm saying
in your
even
career.
even this year with them and Warrior.
Correct. And so it's just, so I agree with you guys. I think Seattle outcoached the Patriots, but I think it was this Seahawks team, despite not having these great defenses of the past, have either a middle linebacker or an edge rusher or maybe just an all-time corner some singular force.
Sure.
Seattle, it feels like, has, of their 11 defensive starters, 8 guys who are B+ or better.
Yeah.
And Weatherspoon can be a superstar, maybe he is, and Iman Wari might one day
There's
be.
Hall of Fame busts on those other
Correct.
earlier
And this is just a bunch of awesome players, plus this scheme that won the defensive Triple Crown in Baltimore and then came over here and transformed it. The Patriots, KW, took away JSN, and it didn't matter.
And he got
dinged, and it didn't matter.
Up.
That make you feel better?
A little bit. Sam Darnold had a passer rating under 75, but kept the ball safe. Played a clean game under pressure to deliver Seattle's second Super Bowl championship. Here's Darnold on limiting mistakes. Take a listen.
With our defense, the way that they've been playing, my job is to take care of the football. And I knew that coming into the game, and, I did that. And, I took the open guy when they were there, and, if I had to take sacks, if I had to throw the ball away, I was able to do it. But I just played that kind of game, and I feel like, we ended up being on top because of it.
Just a mature answer, man.
Yeah.
What do you make of Darnold's Super Bowl?
Well, look, micro for the game and even just the playoffs, he did the one thing he needed to do to win. He played clean. Like I said, maybe had C.J. Stroud played clean, maybe that's a different outcome, Herbert, whatever the case. But he played a clean game, which is saying a lot for Sam Darnold, because even in college at USC, he was somewhat reckless. He was like a gunslinger.
Yes.
His last year there, he had 13 interceptions in 14 games. So he's been that guy that, I'm going to make some turnovers, but I'm also going to make some big plays. And we saw that this season as well. Then he gets to the playoffs and no turnovers in the whole playoffs. So for him to make that adjustment, I give him a lot of credit. He obviously wasn't fantastic yesterday, but he did what he needed to do to win the game. So I give him credit on that and being clean. As far as going a little macro, I don't put him in the elite category right now. Maybe he'll get there one day. He's certainly got a chance. He's had 2 really strong seasons. Now he's got the Super Bowl. And if he continues to play well, even if he doesn't win another Super Bowl, if he continues to throw for 4,000 plus yards every year,
it doesn't matter.
He can, who knows how high he can go. He could certainly become elite. I've seen some people say he is now like the face of the QB resurrection. I don't want to get too historical. I would still go Jim Plunkett, who was a number 1 pick, number 1 draft pick, Heisman Trophy winner, so that's more than Darnold did in college, and was a straight bust for 8 years, and then won 2 Super Bowls with the Raiders. Now, Plunkett was never great individually like Darnold has been these last 2 years, so Darnold could surpass him. But right now, I would still say Plunkett, at least historically, certainly in the modern era,
But he passes
you would go
Baker as far as the contemporary.
Yes. And he may, I think he's in that tier 2 with a group of guys. But he backed up Baker. Maybe some people, you put him ahead of Baker now. He backed up Purdy. You can argue he's ahead of Purdy now.
Yes, definitely.
He's just as a better quarterback.
Yes.
So he can build on this and really make a special thing out of his career.
Yeah, to add to what you said, I thought, he played just a mature brand of football. Obviously, another way of saying he was clean, he didn't turn the ball over. But even when you watch the way he played, jokingly when we were watching the lead-in, you were saying, yeah, he almost threw a pick on the first throw.
First play.
And a couple of them.
Yeah.
I saw a guy who was still playing aggressive, who played with a level of confidence, believing I can make that throw, and he made it.
That could have been.
It could have.
First throw.
And that's what I think the Patriots are thinking.
Absolutely. It could have gone the other way. Yep. But the fact that it didn't, it's like, you know what? That's a great throw. Man, that was a tight window throw. He made a few of those that could have possibly ended up into a turn. I
thought he was going to give
in
it
a turnover.
Yeah.
And just the fact that he goes out in that game and makes those attempts of throws, let me know he had matured beyond this idea of what we all had come to know him as the guy who shrinks in the big moments.
Yeah.
So that, and Brew, just to add to your point, his turnover-free streak started week 18.
Right.
Which was for the 1 seed.
Yep.
It's the first time in his career he's gone 4 straight games, no turnovers, and it's for the 1 seed and then 3 playoff games. Like that's, for a guy who led the league in turnovers we talked about, that's remarkable. He had, to me, his Super Bowl MVP moment in the real Super Bowl, the conference championship game. He played great in the toughest game they had against, in my opinion, the best opponent. He went bar for bar with Stafford. This game, he was okay. He had JSN cooked Christian Gonzalez on one play the whole game, the throw right before the half.
Yes.
And he missed the throw, and Gonzalez almost took it.
Yep.
And this is one of the things I love about small sample size professional football. I think the Seahawks were the far better team. I think Seahawks outclassed New England in that game. I also think that if that throw we just showed you, his first throw of the game, is 3 inches short and it gets picked, we might be sitting here talking about the Patriots winning the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
Because
it might have been a pick.
Correct.
A pick six.
And it was so everything, it felt to me like the Patriots' game plan was he's going to give us one.
Yep.
And so everything would have felt differently. And that's how close it is. Like between, that's a nice 15-yard gain, and now we're talking about him versus Jim Plunkett versus whatever else.
Patriots blitz rate in the first quarter, 70%.
Yeah, they were taking risks.
Kenneth Walker sets the record for rushing yards.
You got to fight somebody.
Enough is enough.
The guy's 6'6", like 330. Kenneth Walker sets the record for rushing yards in the first half, kept it rolling in the second, ran the ball 27 times for 135 yards, and takes home the MVP. Nick, do you think the voters got this right?
No, I wish they would have colluded to give it to a defensive player.
But who?
Devin Witherspoon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Devin Witherspoon, so to the point you guys were making earlier, listen, his whole season, he pass rushed 21 times. He then did it 6 times in the Super Bowl, and he looked like an old pro at it. He's swim-moving tackles. And he got a sack. He also doesn't get any credit for the pick 6, but he caused it. You know, because it wasn't called a forced fumble. It was called a pass that turned it. And so I just thought Kenneth Walker was really good. But because the holding penalty took away the long touchdown, the story, and even if that hadn't happened, the story of this game was the Seahawks defense.
That's right.
And I think it would have been, totally fine for the voters to be like, hey, who here wants to vote for a defensive player? Let's make sure we're voting for the same defensive player. Now, maybe you're not supposed to do that, but
that feels right. That's the story of
the story of the Super Bowl was the Seahawks defense.
Yeah, like when you watch that game again, Kenneth Walker, did he deserve it?
He was awesome.
Yeah. He did, because he stood out offensively on a team that we didn't see anything offensively really popping off.
Yeah.
However, when we watched that game at large, what stood out to any and everybody was, man, this defense is going crazy right now. And when you have a defense that is making that amount of plays and causing that type of impact, you naturally feel like, man, somebody on that defense is deserving. He gets the sack. He caused the fumble, too.
Yeah, right.
So it's like he forced the fumble that it ended up being a touchdown. I thought he was getting it. But again, I'm not saying that Kenneth Walker wasn't deserving of it and he couldn't have earned it, because he did. He did run hard. He did obviously have impact plays. 3 of the 4 20-plus yards that they did have, he had 3 of them. So, I mean, he was deserving, but the way that game just played out, defensively, you thought one of those guys was going to get it.
Witherspoon was great, but I think they got it right. I mean, you got to score points, too. And I know he didn't score a touchdown, but he moved that football down the field. Darnold was not moving the ball down the field. He had the touchdown late, on the pass on the short field. But Walker is the 3rd player ever in the Super Bowl history to have 2 runs of 25 or more yards. He ran for the most yards, 135, since Terrell Davis almost 30 years ago. And Davis won the MVP as well. Like, he was just carrying their offense. I know they weren't scoring touchdowns, but the field goals mattered too. And so I think they got it right. He had a fantastic postseason overall, but I think they got it right. I was wishing, but the holding penalty, like I was hoping that he did, because that would have given him, over 170 yards.
Yes, and a touchdown.
But the holding penalty is what sprung it. He's not doing that without the penalty. But I think they got it right. I think he was great.
There's like 9 guys on Seattle that could have gotten it. There is. The punter.
You don't think he should? Well,
no, I'm saying everybody played great. The kicker could have gotten it. The punter could have gotten it. And several defensive players could have gotten it.
You make a good point, though, about Walker, especially because we learned last week that Milton Williams and Christian Barmore are basically Richard Dent and Aaron Donald. So, like,
right, they were supposed to shut down the run game.
Right. I mean, you obviously can't run against them.
I know.
So that guy.
You know what?
Maybe he's the best player in the league.
Here's the Kenneth Walker.
Wow! Someone took mine. Why did you take him out of here?
No, I would have.
What?
First running back to win Super Bowl MVP.
Hit it from
28 years. So congratulations to Kenneth Walker. Live from New York, it's a show that always believed in Sam Darnold. One person here was believing in Sam Darnold. And defense wins championships. Guys.
It's already.
It's an old one.
Thank goodness.
Oh, these are old.
These are all old. Oh, I got busted ones. Bring us the fresh ones.
Things first.
Gosh darn it.
Today,
it's a celebration.
What does this title mean for Super Bowl champion Sam Darnold? Meanwhile, and thank goodness, Greg, we look forward to next year. Which team is most likely to get back to the Super Bowl?
I heard a lot this offseason.
I don't fight it.
Dynasty?
About lose a Super Bowl and what it means. And
I believe in the Super Bowl hangover. I'm not going to run from it, unfortunately. But right now, well, this just really got in my craw, Greg. Drake Maye said he was feeling good and was off the injury report leading up to the game. He also got a pain-killing injection before the game and couldn't feel his shoulder. Here he was after the game.
My shoulder feels, I shot it up, so not much feeling. It was good to go, and it felt all right.
Well, didn't look like it was good to go, to be 100% honest with you. Drives ending with a punt, longest streaks in Super Bowl history. We had 8. And then we also had 8 in 2018. We won that game. Yikes, stripes. What's your take on why Drake struggled? Nick, you want to go?
Yeah, I mean, he struggled all playoffs. We can blame the fact that he had 40 yards in the first half of the AFC Championship game on a blizzard that started in the second half. We can talk about a game where he threw a pick and fumbled 4 times that he actually played well because he had a couple big plays in it. Or the first game of the playoffs where the offense scored 16 points and be like, but in the second half he came alive. Drake Maye's played poorly for a month. And now he was playing what a lot of us thought was a defense at least as good as the Texans and Broncos defenses. And you add to it that he is a little banged up, like most NFL players at this point. Now, unlike most banged up NFL players, he was not on the injury report leading into the game. They actually took him off the injury report the Friday before the game. And so, I don't know what the league will do with the fact that he got shot up for a shoulder injury that the Patriots said didn't exist. But like a lot of young quarterbacks in their first postseason, he wasn't the same guy he was in the regular season. It is rare, incredibly rare, for quarterbacks to be as good as they are in their great regular season that gets them to their first postseason. in the postseason. And so it's Seattle's great. Their defense is great. Mike McDonald's great. But my real struggle, Greg, was some of the narrative going into the game was people were correctly pointing out how historically tough the Patriots' path of defenses faced has been, which was true. But it was, to me, not all that meaningful because all of their offensive numbers were like, oh, yeah, you were playing some really good defenses and struggling against them. And so they once again played a great defense, and once again the offense looked like it was playing a great defense.
Yeah, this was the first offense that I felt like they played all postseason that could actually put up a lot of points. Like you look at the Chargers, they were without offensive line, running backs, the whole nine. And then obviously we know what C.J. Stroud didn't have at his disposal and how he was playing. And then the Denver Broncos didn't have their quarterback, so on and so forth. But for me, the biggest reason for his struggles was more so than in this game, in this Super Bowl, than in any of those other games, I thought he got sped up. He played the way that they were hoping they could make him play. Meaning, when he caught that ball, he started anticipating feeling pressure because he was getting pressured. From the second run play of the game, Wilds,
Yeah, it wasn't good.
they got blown up on that left side. And then the third play of the game with a quick little dunk to Stevenson where he gets the first down, Will Campbell's in his lap.
Yep.
Right away, they were making him aware, we're going to be in your face all day.
Yeah.
And they did it over and over, and so you started to see him speed up. His time clock got sped up. They never made any adjustments. They never built in any quick little screens or hot routes. It was odd to me, but again, I don't know if year 5 or 7 Drake Maye suggests, hey, let's switch up some things. Year 2, Drake Maye is probably just going to go to the sideline and listen to what the coach is going to adjust to.
Well, year 0, Kevin Wildes knew that we were supposed to do that. Like, it's pretty obvious that a conventional game plan was not going to work immediately.
Maybe they were as confident as you were. I mean, I'm not trying to be a jerk.
Yes,
like,
you
maybe,
are.
No, but I'm saying, like, they
didn't feel like it.
No,
it didn't look the same.
I'm saying going into the game, maybe they felt like you felt. Man, this defense. This defense. Phillip Rivers moved the ball on them.
Didn't feel like that, but right away we didn't look the same. And if you know your quarterback just took a shot and he was the most accurate quarterback in the entire league. And he fell off a cliff.
The playoffs.
So it's either youth, nerves, or injury, or a combination of everything.
Plus, you played
and great defense. Obviously, that's probably the biggest slice.
Remember,
of the pie.
you had the weak schedule in the regular season. Obviously, the playoffs is always tough, but you guys had it tougher against these defenses.
Yeah.
These great defenses gave him trouble. And I think there are a lot of things you can blame, but Seattle's defense made him struggle.
Yes.
He didn't just go out there and struggle. I'm not putting any stock in the shoulder. I mean, I'm sure a lot of guys are banged up at this point. He's
the ball's
fine.
coming out of his hand. Like,
but
the ball doesn't
look like the same.
Can I ask
you about that, KW? Didn't you? Because late in the game, when you guys had the 2-play touchdown drive, cut it 19-7.
That was a perfect pass.
He's throwing the ball the best he's thrown it. Then the next drive, when you have the ball 19-7, Collinsworth is saying this is the best he's looked all game, and then he makes just an incomprehensible decision throwing in triple coverage.
Can I say that? I don't think the ball was supposed to go there. I think he was trying to hit whoever was over the top, and his arm wasn't there.
No.
But it was there for the touchdown
he could
pass.
not have thrown. You're saying he couldn't have thrown it far enough?
So yeah, this is where
I don't think it was a bad decision. I think
this
it was a bad
is where
arm.
when I listened to him talk about, my shoulder was nothing. Like I could feel nothing. I think he was alluding to the idea of once you get shot, like I didn't feel any pain anymore. Like I was fine. I was good to go. Where I think you cannot disregard it is one of the areas where I felt like we saw him not really showcase who he was getting out the pocket and using his legs.
That's what I'm talking about.
Throwing the ball,
that's how
you're
he
fine.
got hurt.
Exactly.
And I think that was in there.
Naturally,
yes, I agree.
because of the shoulder, regardless if you feel it or not, I'm not going to get out the pocket and just run every single time that I normally would, because we saw him do it, and it was like he started sliding.
He
was
slid early.
That should have been part of their
not been
game
him all
plan.
season long.
That should have been part of their game plan, was him running more. I mean, he held it in the pocket a little too long at times.
That's what he always has done all
right,
season
but
long.
I mean, I just think it should have been baked into their game plan. If they get too much pressure on you, take off and run. And they were vulnerable there. And to your point, he didn't do it till late, and he had some success. But even then, he wasn't running as aggressively as he did earlier in the season. So I do think that's where the shoulder came into play. But the throws, no. The Matt Hollins throw was perfect. It was good defense. Yeah. It was a perfect throw, perfect catch.
Again, I've beaten this drum a few times. The lack of data around throws, you can tell if a baseball pitcher has a slight tweak. It's like, your spin rate is down from 100 spins per second to 79 spins per second. The balls look different. That being said, 100% Drake Maye, as healthy as possible, still loses this game.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but not as badly. Patriots.
I think you're getting hit in football, so you're not getting hit in pitching.
No, but just the ball flying.
But
into
it's
the
I get what you're saying.
We have no data on it.
But it's baked
with
in.
Too much data everywhere.
I'm not 100% by the third quarter because I've been hit 7 times.
Patriots had an easy schedule, got to the Super Bowl, got crushed. Patriots fraud whispers come back to haunt them with Super Bowl reality check. Ouch. Greg, did this game prove the Patriots skeptics right?
No, not at all. Because, again, they still got to the Super Bowl facing defenses that we thought, man, they're going to give them problems to the point where they're not going to get beyond those teams. And they did. They just faced a better defense almost every time they went, with the exception of Houston being before Denver. Mm-hmm. And it depends on who you are. You would say Denver's better than them. At the end of the day, the defenses got better, and better. And it was going to be whether or not Drake Maye could put together or string together at least 1 or 2 really good performances. One being in the Super Bowl, where we obviously know that they were going to need him to be special, and he just simply wasn't. There's a lot of reasons around that, but I don't blame their schedule because they fought and they got past a lot of great defenses in the postseason.
Yeah, I'm with Greg. Look, they split with Buffalo, went up there and beat Buffalo. They pounded Carolina. I know they didn't have a tough schedule, but they pounded a Carolina team that gave the Rams trouble, beat them, gave them trouble in the playoffs, and then they beat 3 good defenses in the playoffs. It's simple to me. The difference is they faced a team with a great defense, as they have been facing, but then also a team whose quarterback didn't kill them.
Yep.
Stidham could not make them pay. CJ just imploded. And Herbert is just not been a good playoff quarterback. All Sam Darnold did was make the one play for the touchdown and play clean. And that was enough. Yep. And had any of those other quarterbacks been able to do that, I'm not trying to take anything away from the Patriots, but maybe they don't get to the Super Bowl. That was just the difference.
So the Patriots obviously were not frauds. The Patriots obviously were not a bad team. Were the Patriots a great team? I don't think so. Are we going to leave this year and say the Patriots were the best team in football? Obviously not. Seattle is one. I'm not going to leave this year thinking they were the second best team. I think the Rams were. Does it draw into question, even though I was super down on them? Were they the third best team, or was that Denver whose quarterback was out? I don't know. That seems like a fair question. Now, I don't think Buffalo gets to claim they were better than New England. They played them twice. They split. New England got further. New England had a better record. But it raises, to me, fair question about how, was this year, because of how things fell, was it a varsity and a university conferences wise? Maybe a little bit. That the NFC was just the far more difficult conference as it turned out. We didn't think going into the year, but as it played out, I think that ends up being a fair question. I also think, and this is the part that is hardest to swallow, I think, if you're a Pats fan. Because Wildes is totally right. If you win the Super Bowl, no one remembers. You know how people found out the 99 Rams had a soft schedule? Because the 2025 Patriots had a soft schedule. And they kept me, it was like, hey, look at this. I had no idea. I had no idea the greatest show on turf had a soft schedule.
Yeah.
And
the softest.
The softest. And the 72 Dolphins get talked about more than any team from the 70s. They went undefeated. No one's ever been like, did you know?
Yeah.
Second easiest schedule of all time. Nobody knows. So had you won, it would not have mattered at all. But it also does feel like, ooh, maybe not quite as close as we thought 72 hours ago, and might be even that much harder to get back there.
Oh, well,
that you could have stolen one, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I think it is. I think that is where this gets really tough.
I think we hit the ceiling of we're a good team, okay? Vrabel came in early, Greg, and was like, we want to take advantage of bad football. And next thing you know, the wins start stacking up because we're taking advantage of bad football. In the playoffs, we're taking advantage of bad football, and then you run into some luck. The ball bounces one way, missed field goal here and there. But the Seahawks announced, we don't play bad football. I'm trying to think of that game. Was there a real mistake that the Seahawks made? Like every punt was amazing.
Darnold missed on the scramble play when JSN.
That's the one. And that could have been a 90-yard touchdown.
Yeah,
so
that's the one.
Every kick, every field goal was pure. Every punt was great. The rushes were always excellent. The coverage was great. A few Darnold broken plays when he was being pressured, he didn't nail.
Yeah, and I wouldn't classify them as mistakes.
No.
Those were just misses.
Yeah, just misses.
Right.
But it was like a pretty excellent.
Drake's touchdown pass was good defense.
Oh,
It was just a perfect pass.
Yeah. Go ahead, you had something else. No, you had some smart aleck thing. Do it.
I'm not
Say it. Say it. Say it.
I'll save
Don't
it for
spare
later.
his
I have
feelings.
one graphic
Don't
sitting
spare
in my back pocket that it's a.
Bring up the Chiefs.
I
It's
didn't.
great.
Wow, who said that?
Bring up the Chiefs. I would love you to.
It's in case of emergency graphic.
No, do it, buddy.
in case it gets too rough out here.
I would love you to.
I didn't do anything. I'm just
I
talking
want
about
to
it.
see it now.
No, I didn't do anything. Mike
This
Vrabel.
should be fun for you. I can't wait till the Ravens lose the Super Bowl. I can't wait to be.
I can't wait
the
either,
butt
to
of
be
the
honest
joke.
with you. Mike Vrabel that's a good actually way to look at it. Mike Vrabel's Coach of the Year, Josh McDaniels Assistant Coach of the Year, but it's Mike McDonald's squad as waking up as champions. Here's Vrabel on what went wrong.
We couldn't gain any rhythm, field position. We got to get into drives better offensively. Defensively, we've been really good against the run lately, and we weren't. And, again, we were just playing catch up.
Were the Patriots out-coached here?
By a lot. And our guy Barnwell, in his opus before the game, wrote that one place the Patriots definitely will have the edge is game management.
Yeah.
And they didn't.
No.
I think there were two objective mistakes and two or three more. I think they were mistakes, but reasonable minds can disagree. As far as I think you should have challenged Greg. It seems like.
Yeah, no, I believe he should have.
But you think it would have.
think he
So
would.
that was, and that is not something that you are ever going to get replay assist help on, because replay assist is there for obvious mistakes, not judgment calls. So I think that was a mistake. I think for a guy who has been very aggressive on fourth down stuff, I mean, they had a 4th and 3, down 9-0 in the second half.
Have to go.
And they punted. They had a 4th and 4, down 12-0 in the second half, and they punted. And then the two, to me, just objective mistakes. The 4th and 1, down 12-0 in the second half. I don't understand how you're not going for it. And when you scored your touchdown, it's 19-6. It's 19-0. You score a touchdown, make it 19-6. There has never been a more obvious. You don't even need like fancy models. Like 20 years ago, teams know, okay, if you're down 19, you score a touchdown, obviously you go for 2, because then all of a sudden, maybe touchdown, 2-point field goal, you're back in the game. And there is no difference between down 12 and 13. None whatsoever. There's no edge to, the extra point. And it was the type of mistake he didn't make all year.
Yeah.
And so, that to me was jarring. And then I also will remind people that Josh McDaniels, who has been, on coaching staffs for 10 Super Bowls, but has been the offensive coordinator for 7, in those 10 Super Bowls, has 3 first-quarter points. They've been quarterbacked by Tom Brady and by Drake Maye. So, again, we don't want to count the first 3 because he wasn't an offensive coordinator. Fine. 7 Super Bowls, 0 touchdowns in the first quarter, 1 field goal in the first quarter. Weird, just noteworthy.
I agree that they got out-coached. Not going for 2 is crazy. I mean, for those, I don't know if you spelled it out. It was the difference between if you get the 2, now you need a touchdown and a field goal, potentially, including a 2-point conversion, versus now going for 1, you kept yourself in position where you need 2 touchdowns. So that was huge. Wouldn't have made the difference, obviously, but that was a big mistake. I don't blame them on the 4th downs because those were in their territory, and they were not moving the ball at all. And I think his thought is, okay, you hate to have to kick 4th and 3 or whatever, but we're only down 6-0 or we're only down 9-0. If we go for it and don't get it and they weren't getting any yardage and then they score a touchdown or at 12-0, even a field goal, it's like, okay, it's a huge difference now. We're pretty much out of the game. Yeah. So I don't kill him for that. But to what the point Greg was making earlier, Josh McDaniels, he just didn't give Drake any answers. They didn't make any adjustments. So they were thoroughly out-coached the whole game.
Yeah, and when you watch the body language of some of the guys on the sideline in that 4th quarter, defensively specifically,
that was over.
They were frustrated with their offense, and we hadn't seen that all season long, even throughout the course of the postseason when we saw the offense struggle at its best or at its worst or be at its worst. But for me, Vrabel, where I look at it, and you look at it from those points, and yes, could he have been better? But even from a run stopping perspective, I felt like adjustments could have been made where the first thing you talk about, especially when you're playing a quarterback like Sam Darnold, regardless of what kind of game he had just come off of in the NFC Championship, you still make him beat you. You do everything within your power to eliminate and stop the run. The fact that Kenneth Walker continued to bounce the runs outside and get on the edges and do that over and over again, it was like, you got to give your defense and he did. You can tell they were going to jump routes. They knew the game plan coming in. Sam's going to try to get the ball out of his hand quick. We're going to drive on these balls. You knew that. You didn't make that adjustment. And then to my point earlier, Josh McDaniels, I just felt like you didn't help your young quarterback and your young offensive line, particularly that left side with Will Campbell, who we know struggled, with Jared Wilson, who we know struggled as well. Like, you just didn't help them out. All you had to do was side adjust.
Were you
baffling. Just simply side adjust?
It's baffling.
Were you surprised they didn't have a trick play?
I'm surprised. Here's what I was surprised by. Throughout the playoffs, let's play Patriots smart football, and the defense will create an opportunity for us. And to your 4th down analysis, I wonder if that game was at Foxborough and Mike Vrabel heard the crowd booing because he would snap out of it. I think this game is close. The fans at home do not think this game is close, even though it's 6-0.
Not going for the 4th.
You are too confident in it.
I don't know that he was confident. I just, in that we're definitely going to score. I just think he was. If we don't score, they got a short field.
We've seen Dan Campbell's team go for it, and it gives a spark to the offense. Wow, they got it. That rallies the team. There's a point, I think, where if you can give a spark, you can also take a spark away. All right, it was 2nd and 2, and now it's 4th and 1. Let's come off the field. I'm oh man, this guy doesn't believe in us. We're gonna pump the ball back.
As far as sparks go, did you at any point think they should have given Dobbs a whirl?
I've considered moving to the North Pole, and I've considered a lot of things in my life. Did it cross my mind? I'm a creative guy, dude. I'm a creative guy.
I'm just saying. Crossed your mind.
I didn't think think you were going to say that. I was saying that to
thought
troll
about
you.
I've thought
Drake
about
is the
becoming
guy.
I've thought about becoming a painter. Full time. I've thought about a lot of things in my life. Welcome back to a rough first things first. Sam Darnold is a Super Bowl champion. Headline from an article by Kalen Kaler. Super Bowl champion Sam Darnold's deferred destiny. That one hurt.
Oh, wow.
He delivers a Super Bowl in his first season with his fifth team. Here's Darnold on being a champion with Greg Rosenthal.
It's pretty special, man. Just the crazy ride that it has been for myself. I can talk forever about my teammates in that locker room, but yeah, I mean, it feels pretty good.
We did a version of this graphic. More than 30 wins in a 2-season span. It's Sam Darnold, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, Brett Favre, and your guy Terry Bradshaw, Brew. Brew, we'll start with you. What does this title mean for Sam Darnold?
Well, it means that in the modern era, he is the face of the QB resurrection. I've talked about Jim Plunkett historically, but that's way back, right, in the 70s. So the modern era, or in the 80s, he is that guy. I don't think it makes him elite. I think he's a very good quarterback. I think he's in that tier 2 group. But he could, if he can keep building on this, he's had 2 really good years, 4,000 plus yards, good number of touchdowns. We know he's won more games than any other quarterback. So if he can just continue to play even at that level, winning 11, 12 games, 4,000 yards in that area, make a few more Pro Bowls, like really make them, not just an alternate. Look, this sounds crazy, but he could build toward maybe a Hall of Fame type career going forward. And I don't think he needs another Super Bowl to really just become great in people's eyes. I think he just needs to keep playing really good football, and every year they're in it. And, I'm not predicting he's going to be a Hall of Famer. Yeah. I'm just saying that's on the board for him because he's still, 29? 28 years old.
From go to like the Panthers backup to maybe in the Hall of Fame.
And he's with a great organization and a good team. He's got great receivers. Like, it's there for him now. And he could play, maybe he can play like totally free now because he's got the monkey off his back as far as winning a Super Bowl.
Well, I'm not going to take it that far to Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I'm not predicting that. I'm just saying.
I will say it validates what he has grown into as a quarterback. And it, to some degrees and within some organizations, they probably look at this and say, you know what, we can win with the quarterback just like that now.
Yeah.
We don't need the Josh Allen, the Lamar Jackson, the talent, the dual threat, talented, overly great ability of having that quarterback that kind of supplements for what we don't have. We can put a really good roster together, kind of like the team he left, Minnesota Vikings. Kind of like that. They literally had this type of team this year.
Right.
Really good defense, probably even a little bit better offensive weapons, not as great as great of a run game, but you just didn't have the quarterback. And it literally is one of those situations where it costs you jobs. But when you see Sam Darnold do this, you start to believe that, you know what, the process that he went through, it's worth it. All the journey, he embraced it. He talked about how confident he's always been. We didn't always see that.
No.
We didn't always see that because we watched him play, and it's like that doesn't look like a confident quarterback. But off the field, in the locker room, his teammates speak to it, and he just continued to bet on himself and grow as a player and embrace the process, and it paid off for him.
I don't care that much that in this game he was just fine because he was so great the round before. This to me is like he gets enormous credit for them winning the Super Bowl, even though within the Super Bowl they probably win with a lot of guys playing quarterback because they don't get there. They needed an A-plus quarterback game in the conference championship game, and he delivered it for them. So here is, and this is a weird one because, sorry, we had some confetti cannons fall. the conferences are so disparate in quarterback talent. But if I were to ask you, in the NFC, what quarterbacks would you rather have than Darnold, let's just say for the next 3 years? I think Stafford's probably playing one more year. So I think we all agree Stafford's better, but he's only Stafford's not going to be playing.
Is it one of these I'm starting a team like from scratch?
No,
or I have a defense
what I'm saying is, who are the quarterbacks in that conference that you think are better than Darnold now and are not so much older that, like Stafford is, because here, I would rather, since I suggested the game, I would rather have Darnold than Jalen Hurts over the next 3 years. I would rather have him than Jared Goff over the next 3 years. He's my guy, but I have to be honest about how one guy's season went the last few months and how his went. I'd rather have him than Baker over the next 3 years. I'd rather have him than Purdy. So that leaves Caleb, Jordan Love, Jaden Daniels, Dak. As for, it's hard to say him versus Dak. It's hard to watch the game he played in the conference championship game and say Dak. And then Jaden and Caleb are so young that it feels like how much better they're going to be. He does because he's in the NFC. I guess the point I'm making is the Seahawks are not going to be at a quarterback deficit against any of these teams they're competing with. The one team we feel like they are definitely at a quarterback deficit with, the Rams, he just played him and played great.
It also might not matter.
Correct.
With that defense, you're at a quarterback. He was at a quarterback deficit. I think he's better than Brock, but Drake Maye is a better quarterback than him. But Sam Darnold has played much better.
Yeah, look, I would take Jalen Hurts over him. But that's arguable. Yeah. I admit that's arguable. Jordan Love, I think, has more talent, but he's got. I like Dak better in the regular season. But in
the regular
Dak
season,
has
Darnold's
not
been
done
pretty
it
great too.
Right, and Dak has not. He's got 2 playoff wins in his whole career.
Yeah,
and he hasn't had great postseason games. In some of these big, hadn't even been to the conference championship. Yeah. This guy's won a Super Bowl now, so I don't think you could put Dak ahead of him. So no, they're not going to be in
the
deficit.
AFC. It's different. And so
we might be looking at the whole thing wrong, though.
Well, I think that's what I think the next question addresses it.
All right, Seahawks had a great defense, star wide receiver, solid running game, and a quarterback who many people don't consider elite. Not light years away from how people viewed last year's Eagles squad. Is this Seahawks championship a blueprint for the rest of the NFL?
I think that, it's interesting. Here are Super Bowl champions basically the last decade. Do you have Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady as your quarterback? Nope. Then did you build a short-term super team? Yep. The Rams did it when they went all in multiple times. Yep. And the Eagles, obviously, all that talent. Seahawks this year. So I think here is what I think the lesson for the rest of the NFL should be. We obviously are chasing in the draft our version of Mahomes or Josh Allen. I know he hasn't won. The guy who could legitimately be the best quarterback alive.
Yep.
Let's not lie to ourselves if we ended up not getting that guy and feeling pot committed to trying to prove he is that guy and be afraid to pivot. So, I think the Miami Dolphins, as for instance, knew pretty early Tua ain't going to be Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes. And I felt like they tried to, instead of building out the rest of their team, they tried to build out a team that could make Tua look like he was that guy. You understand? And so I think that the question is, and I don't know the answer to this, what's easier? To build a super team absent the quarterback or to find the quarterback? I don't think it's easy to, but John Schneider's a great drafter. Howie Roseman's a great drafter. The Rams were punting on the draft and just trading away picks to get the players and already had Aaron Donald, obviously. So I don't know what's easier, but I do think there's only 2 blueprints, Brew. I guess 3. One is rookie scale quarterback, very, very cheap quarterback. The other is veteran but not super high paid quarterback, and the other is superstar quarterback, as far as teams we've seen win.
Yeah, and as we see, though, the superstar quarterback, Lamar, Josh Allen, if you throw Burrow got to one, but they haven't won Super Bowls yet. So, of course, every team is trying to get that future Hall of Famer, all-time great, Mahomes, whatever. Even if Josh, Lamar, you're in it every year. You know, this year was odd, but you're in it every year. That's what you want, and you may get one. But if you look at it historically, I think more often than not, outside, if you take like Brady and Mahomes, guys like that win multiple Super Bowls. But take that away, it is average or good quarterbacks. Nick Foles, Jalen Hurts, Sam Darnold, Joe Flacco, Eli Manning. These are some of the guys recently that won Super Bowls. And even guys that lost. Garoppolo and Purdy got there and lost to Mahomes. And
Good
Purdy
defenses.
Right, but I'm saying the more common is you have a good quarterback and you have great players around him. I think that's just more common because everybody's not going to – how often does an Aaron Rodgers or somebody like that come around? So –
yeah, look, the key word is a blueprint. Like, I believe any team that affords themselves an opportunity to hoist that trophy and call themselves champions, they're a blueprint.
Interesting.
They're a blueprint. Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, however he constructed that team, they were really young defensively, leaned into whatever it is. Jalen Hurts, that team, what Howie Roseman did, yes, that's a blueprint. A lot of teams would have loved to be able to do that. A lot of teams would love to be able to do what Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and that staff has been able to do. And a lot of teams are watching this team win and are feeling like, man, we possibly could do something like that. So anytime a team wins, yes, they are a blueprint of how you get it done because they were able to get it done.
I think the key, too, is when you got to know the difference between, like, okay, he's a good quarterback that if we build around him, we could win versus paying him like Tua, the problem is they paid him $55 million a year or whatever. And that's what kills you. Darnold's making 30.
Yeah. For now. Yeah, Darnold's about to get paid.
You know what it feels like?
You think this offseason?
Yes.
I don't know. It'll be interesting.
I don't think he will.
Yeah,
Really?
I think he stays where he at.
I think he's so confident and comfortable with where he is with the team and how they're currently constructed.
Yep.
Let's try to run it back.
That'd be 14 wins for hire. Welcome back to Super Bowl Monday on First Things First. Sam Darnold and the Seattle Seahawks are the champions. Drake Maye got the silver medal. If they handed out silver medals, they do in the Olympics. Let's look ahead to.
They given it to him or just sent it to
the Rams?
Stafford and the Rams.
I doubt it. Let's look ahead to next year. Super Bowl 61 odds. The Seahawks and the Rams are tied for first. Then the Bills. Josh Allen, friend of the show. Eagles, Patriots, Rams, all tied, Ravens, all tied for fourth, and then Packers, Lions tied for, I don't know, gee whiz, they're tied.
Chargers,
Chiefs tied for ninth, and then 49ers, and then the Broncos way back there. So, more likely, Patriots or the Seahawks return, or just have a wild card choice from that group.
Easily the Seahawks. And I don't think either will because it's so tough to get back. I've said it before, 3 teams this century, Tom Brady and the Patriots, Mahomes and the Chiefs, and then the Seahawks, with Russell Wilson, got back, not won, but got back to back-to-back Super Bowls. So it's just difficult to do. But of these 2 teams, absolutely Seattle. The Patriots, they're going to be going from, I think you might expound on the schedule, they're going to go from a last-place schedule to a first-place schedule. That's going to be tough. And Seattle, on the other hand, losing Kubiak, that'll be interesting to see what becomes of him.
That's interesting.
Losing Kubiak, yeah. But I assume they'll bring Kenneth Walker III back, but he's a free agent. But overall, I just think with that defense, they're going to be in great position. And I think that Drake, I expect Drake. I think he's got a bright future. But again, it's one great season like we've seen with other players. So I'm holding out the possibility that he doesn't come out next year and have an MVP level season. So I would say the Seahawks.
Yeah, it's interesting. The obvious answer would be the Seahawks. I like the Pats' opportunity as well, though. I wouldn't pick them just off of what I just experienced last night. However, when you think about, the young offensive line getting another year underneath their belt, maybe they perform a little bit better, specifically that left side. Drake Maye, another year under his belt, maybe he's more aware and can adjust a little bit better. Defensively, you get the sense they're trending in the right direction. So I think both of these teams have a realistic, good chance of trying to get a path to get back. But I guess I will say the Seahawks.
Yeah, I'd be stunned if the Pats are back. First of all, losing a Super Bowl is bad for your chances the next year for anything. I thought the Chiefs would be impervious to it because I saw them lose Super Bowl and then the next year get to the conference championship game. This is the last 30 years. More have missed the playoffs than won a playoff game. So 17 have made the playoffs. 11 of those 17 won a playoff game. One ever won the Super Bowl, and that team might have been more immunized, if you will, from a Super Bowl hangover because they had won the Super Bowl the previous year. One of the reasons losing a Super Bowl is so devastating is a lot of guys on the team are like, are we going to get back here? Right? But a lot of those Patriots had done it. The other thing, it's not just first place schedule, fourth place to first place. It's also the division you draw. This year, the Pats drew the NFC South. Next year, it's the NFC North.
Yeah.
This year, they drew the AFC North, which we thought was going to be hard and it'd be a down year for them. Next year, it's the AFC West, which means next year, the Patriots' road games are divisional games, Jets, Dolphins, divisional game, Bills, and their non-divisional road games are the Bears, the Lions, the Chargers, the Jags, the Chiefs, and the Seahawks. They have 6 non-divisional road games. 2 of those teams didn't make the playoffs, and those teams are the Lions and the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So, tough one.
Not great. I'm a big Super Bowl hangover guy. It's not great.
Here's the thing. You guys have said, I've been on Seattle all year, so I wanted to go back into the archives of Top 10 Tuesday. 15 weeks in the top 10 for Seattle, 13 in the top 5, 4 ranked first. Coming in at number 1, the Seattle Seahawks. Went back and forth. You could go either way. Obviously, they now have the cleaner path to the 1 seed. And at number 1, it remains the Seattle Seahawks. They don't only win, they bludgeon people. And then at number 1, they've been there for about 6 weeks on Top 10 Tuesday, the Seattle Seahawks.
Live from New York, it's First Things First overtime with a guy who's been pretty accurate to the point I'm starting to think, I hate to say it, Justin Herbert, top 5. You got to.
You should.
You got it. The guy's called it all along. Maybe I've been wrong. I was wrong all this Sunday.
What I say, Wilds? See the NFL.
Very clearly. He's always seeing it very clearly.
Always seen it very clearly.
First
Brew.
things first, overtime. Parkins,
You all right, Brew?
you were on the Seahawks all year.
Bite my tongue.
Yeah.
Called the NFC Championship game the, quote, real Super Bowl, which infuriated me. But I was infuriated by this Super Bowl even more. You like the Seahawks, the way the Seahawks played all year, and so did Sam Darnold. Take a listen.
I'm just doing the best that I can every single day to be the best quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks. That's really what it comes down to. And, again, I didn't have my best stuff today, but the team had my back. Our defense, our special teams had our back. And, we just played how we always played, resilient. And, we're came out on top.
Danny, were you surprised that the Seahawks dominated the Super Bowl?
No, I wasn't surprised at all, and it was reflected in my wagers that Nick can validate.
Danny, to his credit, did put a sizable wager on Seattle minus 9.5.
Oof.
Oh, wow.
Seattle to win by double digits. That I thought somehow might get screwed by a garbage time touchdown and 2-point conversion.
Yeah, people were like, that wasn't an exciting Super Bowl. I was like, it was pretty tense.
I was worried for him at the end. Go ahead.
Yeah,
sorry.
but no, listen, I've liked this team all year. We went back to the archives, as you saw. They made it into my top 10 back in week 4. So I do think that this has been a very impressive team all season long. I don't think that they are like a historically great team when we start talking about the all-time. They're not the 2000 Ravens or the 02 Bucks, but they're like a notch below that. But to me, the story of this team was relative to the rest of the NFL this year. And when I started to like really think that they could do this was actually after their last loss in Week 11. Because if you go back to that game, I remember coming on the next day with you guys and being like, I was impressed because they had a 60-yard field goal attempt when they threw 4 interceptions in that game against the Rams. And since then, they've been undefeated, and they have been absolutely bludgeoning people, holding teams to 14.5 points per game. And to the point about the NFC Championship game being the real Super Bowl, I know we don't do this, but if you just remove the Rams games from it, the Seahawks, in terms of point differential per game, it's the best since the 07 Patriots. They just destroyed everybody this year other than the Rams.
It feels like you're almost on the verge of calling them a historic team, but why don't they cross the bridge there?
Well, I mean, listen, the 2002 Bucks allowed 12 points per game. You know, the 2000 Ravens were
10, wasn't it? 10
yeah,
points
exactly. So like, I do think that
like
there's just a gap. I think there's a gap in terms of how good this defense was and how great it was.
I think go ahead.
No, the last point on this, that I had 2 more things real quick. What I am willing to say is that was an all-time Super Bowl performance. Like that was a dominant Super Bowl. Because if you just remove the garbage time from it, because I know you love the number of yards.
Guys are stirring Gatorade.
Stirring Gatorade. Through 3 quarters, this was how lopsided it was. And if you put it into context, which we can do since quarter-by-quarter tracking for Super Bowls goes back to 1991, this was the ranks for the Seahawks through 3 quarters of a game. It's just simply one of the most dominant performances in Super Bowl history. So I don't think they're an all-time upper echelon tier 1 team, but relative to the competition this year and then in the Super Bowl, it is an all-time dominant single season.
Well, I agree with you. I don't think they're an all-time great team. This was a great performance. But that team they faced in the Super Bowl was not great. And this season, we've all talked about it. Is there a great team? I mean, Seattle, the defense is great. It's not maybe tier 1 all time, but it's tier 2, I guess, all time.
I think it's as good as like the 2015 Broncos, the Von Miller Broncos.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think it's right in line with that team.
But overall, I mean, and we'll see what Sam Darnold becomes. And I don't want to shoot down Sam Darnold at all because it's a great accomplishment for him. But he's not an all-time great quarterback, so that differentiates some of the great teams. I just think this was a year where, for the most part, you didn't have any great teams. We'll give Seattle that. They just won a Super Bowl. But I think you have to look at those numbers. Like you said, held a team scoreless through 3 quarters. You have to look at that relative to who they were playing. And I thought the difference, Danny, was that the Patriots finally faced the team. They've been facing great defenses all postseason. This was the best. We can give them that. But this was the only team they faced that had a quarterback that could make them pay. Herbert has not played well in the playoffs ever. Stidham is a backup and couldn't make him pay. And C.J. Stroud just imploded. Like, Darnold wasn't great, but he played clean, and he made the 1 touchdown pass, and that was all they needed. If another team had done that, Houston, say, maybe they beat the Patriots. So I want to credit Seattle, but I just think that was the difference.
I think you're kind of dissing the Seahawks there.
How?
Because you're not giving the Pats enough credit.
Yeah, I think the Patriots' defense was really good.
I
think the Patriots, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, the defense.
But I think Sam Darnold made a few plays that won't end up on any highlight reels of just like key first downs, moving the ball into field goal range, to the point where once it was 12-0, it was over. Like, I just don't like C.J. Stroud. He did all the things that happened to C.J. Stroud, I think, was more difficult for it not to happen to Sam Darnold. He was blitzed 70% of the time in the first quarter.
Yeah, I mean, I think Darnold's sack avoidance was excellent.
Like, also,
there were at least 3 plays that I thought
moves.
He's dead to rights. And then not only did he not get sacked, he ended up on 2 of them creating very positive plays on it.
The one he ran.
Right, and the one that he didn't, it almost was a game-breaking touchdown. Like the play that he missed to JSN, it was amazing that he didn't get sacked on it. So as far as am I surprised? Listen, I thought they'd win 27-17. I said I thought they'd be up 7-10 at half and be up 7-10 going into the fourth. This felt more dominant than a 16-point win because it was more dominant than a 16-point win. They were in total control throughout the entire game. As far as all-time stuff, and I will compare this team to the last Seahawks team to win the Super Bowl. When that Seahawks team won the Super Bowl, they were getting the benefit that Brew's not giving this team. Nobody thought going into that Super Bowl that Seahawks team was an all-time great team. But because they annihilated the Broncos with Peyton coming off 55 touchdowns, people were like, holy smokes. Maybe it was, but this question still remained. But are you an all-time great team if Russell Wilson, who at the time was just second year and third-round pick, pardon me. But then because the next year they were awesome again and got back to it, I feel like had they then finished the job the next year, we would have absolutely said that's an all-time great team.
If Seattle was good next year, would you retroactively give
they're
this
gonna
year's
be
team?
good.
No,
I
but
mean, if they win the Super Bowl,
got to the Super Bowl or won the Super Bowl.
That all makes a difference. Like maybe some of these guys. I mean, we can look at Witherspoon, who's young, but some of these guys may emerge to be legendary players.
And that's the point I was going to make about it. This sounds ridiculous, but if in 5 years Sam Darnold wins a league MVP, the 2025 Seahawks will be thought of as a greater team than they currently are.
Right.
Yeah. Like, you know what I like?
Which is ridiculous.
But
that's how
here's why I don't know that it's ridiculous. Because right now, when we talk about the greatest teams of all time, it is either one of the 5 greatest defenses in NFL history, 85 Bears, 2000 Ravens, those things, or a frontline A-list quarterback. There's very few teams, if any, that don't have one or the other.
Right.
If it turns out, Sam Darnold actually, as a Seahawk, was a frontline A-list quarterback for years, that will make this team feel more overwhelming than it currently does.
And most of the greatest teams, most of them you talk about, were dynasties or mini dynasties.
Or perennial contenders.
So this is a slightly separate point, and I know we want to do the Patriots side of it, but I'm going to do it here anyway. Like, what I liked so much about the Seahawks this year was that they really did not have any weaknesses. They are so complete, especially when Darnold is not turning the ball over, which he did in the playoffs. But what's the blueprint? How do you follow it? How do you build this team? It is still just at the essence of you have to draft well. If you just put up 2022 to now, players drafted by the Seahawks, and I know it gets a little small, but that's 4 of the 5 starting offensive linemen in the Super Bowl. It's Jackson Smith and Jigba, Offensive Player of the Year. It's Kenneth Walker, Super Bowl MVP. A.J. Barner, a touchdown. Devin Witherspoon, All-Pro cornerback. Derek Hall could have been MVP, 2 sacks. Byron Murphy, 2 sacks. Emenwari, maybe their most versatile defensive player. All of those guys are drafted in the last 4 drafts. Yeah. They're all on. Darnold's got an amazing contract. Yeah. You know, they sign Lawrence. They hit the home run at head coach. What's the weakness of the 2025 Seahawks?
No, it was that their quarterback turned the ball over and didn't play well in big spots. And then he's the final 4 weeks of the year didn't turn the ball over and played the best game of his life in the NFC Championship game.
Do you think, just quickly before we go on to roasting poor Drake Maye, remember we talked about this, it wasn't your theory, but we kicked it around about in the NBA, it's no longer the best player and the guys around
The weak link
It's
theory.
the weak, yes.
Yeah.
Do you view that echoing here?
No, I'm not trying to dismiss it. Because I think you can get away with weak links in the NFL. Just, I don't think you can get away with your 2 weak links being your left tackle and your left guard. I think having your weak links be rookie offensive linemen who play next to each other and you run into a Mike McDonald defense, that all of a sudden is enough to dead the whole thing.
Yeah, I just didn't know how, our path to victory, Patriots, was just Sam Darnold interceptions.
Yeah, no, they were
And
just
if
much better.
If that didn't happen, like, oh, we just can't win. Got a punter putting it on the 2-yard line every time. Drake looked nervous, pressed, overwhelmed, and underwhelming. Here he was after the game.
I like to go back to the beginning and redo it, but no, there's so many plays that can decide and change the game. Have the fumble or whatever, and then return it for a touchdown. There's numerous plays in the first half where I feel like I could have made a better throw or make a better decision, and really just comes down to who makes the plays and who doesn't. And they made plays tonight.
Yeah, shoot. This game changed how you viewed Drake Maye.
I think that these guys have been kind of mean to you so far today. So I wanted to get you a present to commemorate this season before I answer that question, if you wouldn't mind opening that.
I would tread lightly.
No, nothing's going to explode or pop out of that. I would never do that.
it would be so great if it was
it's just
a pie to the face.
Your guy's been getting roasted. It's been a special season. I see a lot of similarities between my team and yours, so I just wanted to get you a little gift.
I think this is really nice.
And is this also to make up for the fact that you shared a private text from Wilds in our walk-in video?
Oh, was that not allowed? Did he get upset about that? I'm sorry.
That was okay.
Yeah, okay. It's all content, right? I wanted you to remember.
Okay.
I'm sorry, just show people what it is.
No, it's like a 7 thing. I don't like it at all.
No, it's not a 7
Yes,
thing.
it is.
No, it's not.
You don't even know what it is.
It's not someone's head.
Yeah, well, it might as well be.
Oh, show America.
It's the doorknobs from the doorknob of destiny.
That's when we bashed it.
They were putting it in the dumpster.
Horrible.
I wanted you to have a memento.
Keepsake.
Yeah, it's like when Mike
This
was.
is disgusting.
It's like when Mike Wazowski gave Sully a piece of booze door in Monsters, Inc. Just something to
I actually
remember.
kind of like it. I'm going to treasure it.
Yeah, thank you.
Wow.
You should remember that.
Wait, thank you.
So yeah, that's for
What
you.
does this have to do with our teams? Why are you making this?
No,
a
it's just I was just trying to little brew misdirection, so you didn't know what was coming.
I thought it was going to be like a
filibustering.
Caleb Williams shirt.
No, it had nothing to do with that. That was just
That's
filibustering.
nice, Dan.
Yeah, no, you're welcome. Yeah, keep it. Honestly, and this will bother Nick because it's about how much do the games matter.
Now, this works in my advantage.
Right, Drake Maye, I said it before the Super Bowl that I thought that the best Drake Maye team was still to come in the future. Yeah. That they were a year or 2 or 3 ahead of schedule. Drake Maye is a young, budding superstar who you feel really good and you'd want to build a team around, who had an awful Super Bowl. And so, does that downgrade?
Was it just an awful Super Bowl?
Oh, listen, it was not a good playoff run. He set the playoff record for sacks and fumbles. Obviously, that's not good. So I'm not saying he got upgraded from it. But all this means is we can't yet put a 23-year-old quarterback as a top 5 quarterback.
Right.
That's all it really. But it doesn't mean that he can't get there eventually or that he won't do it eventually. It just means that we can't get too far ahead of ourselves right now.
So, sure. But I think it means a little more than that. It also means he now is going to be trying to massively buck history to ever win a Super Bowl. Last 50 years, there are 2 guys who lost their first Super Bowl and then won one. It's Jalen Hurts and John Elway. That's your list.
Oh.
Right. So before Jalen did it last year, it was incredibly rare that the guys. And so there's that piece of it. There is also the fact that he had 4 separate bites at the apple of good playoff game and went 0 for 4. And he was dreadful in the first half of all 4. In the second half of the Texans game, in the second half of the Chargers game, played really well.
Played great.
And the second half of the Texans game was fumbling but making some big plays. This game, I don't care that much about the 230 yards in the fourth quarter. And here is what did change for me, Brew, over the course of this postseason. Because we saw over the course of the last few months the deep pass numbers plummeting. And I think you saw it in the Super Bowl, where as unproductive as they were early, he was clean. And then once they started moving the ball, it was 5 possessions, 3 turnovers, 2 touchdowns. I do worry that part of Drake Maye's ability to hit big plays against good defenses comes with a massive cost.
Yes.
Which is
What, getting hit?
and fumbling and turning the ball over.
Yeah.
And some of what looked like shocking pocket presence and deep ball ability early was more a product of weak defenses. And then once all of us, and he has not yet learned how to be able to hit big plays while not creating big plays for the other team, which is what he struggled with mightily this entire postseason run.
And I think New England's coaching staff showed you they agree with you. They know that. Because, Danny, I thought their offensive game plan was very conservative. I thought it was, let's not let Drake make some mistakes or turnovers because we believe Darnold will make one, right? And they were going for that. And then to your point, Nick, they get down so much, you got to let it get loose a little more, and he makes some turnovers. So, yeah, I think that's huge. Even we talked about it all year. He had one 300-yard passing game. He had, I think, 2 games. That's in his career. He had 2 games this season with 3 or more touchdowns or more than 3 touchdowns. That's not typically and I'm not saying he wasn't an MVP candidate. Yep. He was legit. But that's not like this huge season statistically that normal MVPs have.
It was just crazy, consistent, and efficient.
And accurate and all that, efficient.
It's a little, I don't want to be it's hard to be the Drake Maye defender. I think the 300-yard game thing, which I hammered Aaron Rodgers for because I thought his arm strength had deteriorated, because of the easy schedule and because we were only down at halftime once, I thought there was, outside of let's punish the Jets and try to make an MVP case, a little bit of it's ball control time. We don't really need to crush a team if we're up. In the Panthers game, we won 42 to something, and he didn't throw for 300 yards. Josh Allen has those games every once in a while. I don't know. The 300-yard thing doesn't ring with me.
But a lot of times you can throw for 300 just you pound the team through the air early, and you end up having 300 yards.
Real quick before we go, what's your answer to this? And I'm being a jerk. I'm legitimately curious.
Look, I think it has to change. If he I have to be consistent. If he played amazing in all 4 games, I think I would have the right to stand on the table and say he's the best quarterback in the league. Since he did what it takes, which I think that I don't have a lot of, to stand on, we might disagree with how well he played, but I think he has to. It's a nice. I'm glass half full. It's a nice growing experience for him, but. Yes, I think it is now possible he can have a bad playoff game.
That's a big admission. Yeah, you got there. You got there.
Sorry, I was looking around. But
yeah, good for you.
I've seen it now.
Good for you. All right, you've seen it.
Remember, I was I've never seen my son dunk.
Yeah.
My son won a dunk contest. I came home. I'd be like, wow, he's dunking in the driveway.
It's possible.
Gosh darn it. Mike Vrabel was at his 5th Super Bowl, 4 as a player. Josh McDaniels was at his 10th. They had 0 answers, Parkins.
Yeah.
Zippo. Did the Patriots coaching staff get exposed?
Exposed suggests that they're not good or even a great coaching staff. And I don't believe that, but I thought they had a horrible day. And I thought it was almost as if they disrespected the Seahawks. It was very weird. But I want to make it clear here. I think they could have had all the Bills, Bill Parcells, Bill Belichick, and Bill Walsh on one staff, and I don't think they were winning that game. I think Seattle was just much better than New England. So I do not think the result of the game came down to coaching. And the 2-point conversion decision is indefensible. It's like he forgot math, but it ended up being irrelevant. It's like they were playing Jarrett Stidham, but they were playing Sam Darnold. And the conservatism, and I pulled 3 in a row in the 3rd quarter, if we could show you the circumstance. 14 minutes left, 7 minutes left, 3 minutes left. 4th and 3, 4th and 1, 4th and 4. You see where they were on the field. You see the score of the game in the right-hand column. And then this is what I thought was most interesting. So they were a league average team over the course of the season in terms of quantity of 4th down attempts. I think they were 15th. But on 4th or 4 or less, in terms of how good they were at it,
yes,
they were the best team in the NFL. The best in the NFL. And they had 3 chances in their wheelhouse of down and distance, down 2 scores in the third quarter, and they punted on all 3 of them.
The 4th and 1 was crazy.
And I texted you, I couldn't believe, and listen, I am open to, I am on the very aggressive end of that
Danny
spectrum.
also, I'm sure, hated all the Seahawks field goals. That
But I honestly don't, I don't get it. It's like they thought they were playing a bad offense and they weren't.
Yep.
I get it. I mean, put that graphic back up if you can. Look at where their field position is. They are thinking at 9-0. You're thinking we're still in this.
9-0, I get
right. And if we fail here, it's 3 yards. We're not moving the football at all, and we're not likely to get this 3 yards. If we don't get it, they likely, if they score a touchdown, it might be over. And I think they're thinking the same thing at 12-0. So it was more like live to see another day. If we can get a big play or two, which they ended up getting a big play down 19-0, then you're.
I thought that was the Seahawks. Do you give Drake? I'm not even giving Drake credit for that.
That pass to Mac Hollins?
It's a nice pass, but
the defense was great. I get it.
Seahawks
They got softer on the defense. I get it. But on that particular play, it was just a great throw, great catch. I'm just saying, I was sitting here thinking, again, as a guy that picked the Patriots, okay, it doesn't look good down 9-0, but it's just 9-0. If Drake can make one play, now it's 9-7. Versus if they go for it, miss, and then they score, now it's 16-0 in a game we're having trouble scoring. So I totally get that. Look, I think they were outcoached dramatically, but overall I agree. I think it's a great coaching staff. They had a bad day and they exposed is way too far because they're a great staff, but they didn't give Drake Maye any answers offensively, so they definitely got outcoached.
I just don't need another 2,000 words on Mike Vrabel reinventing the wheel because he had him practice a long halftime on Friday of the Super Bowl week.
It's been done before.
I mean, I just maybe, and I love Vrabel, but maybe a little bit of that PR go to Mike McDonald and his staff because they seem to know what they're doing too. That's all.
Sack Drake Maye.
They also practiced a long halftime in Seattle.
McDonald is special.
Yeah.
And I think let's see going forward.
Might be, you know what? This team might be all-time great. Maybe that's my angle.
I lost to an all-time
great team.
That 2.5 hours.
Listen to me.
A little late for
What are we supposed to do? 85 Bears. We lost.
We got Willie Colon and Greg Jennings out here. Let's talk Sam Darnold. So you know his story by now. Drafted to the Jets in 18, then he sees ghosts. Then he's traded to the Panthers, moved to San Francisco, sent to Minnesota, got passed over, ends up in Seattle where he ultimately lifts the Lombardi Trophy. Here is Sam Darnold on his journey.
It's special. And again, like I always say, it's this group is why it's special. The connection that all of us have as players, the love that we have for each other. The players, the coaches, really everybody in the building, top down, from Jody all the way down. It's the love that we share, throughout the building is special. And, I've never been at a place like it.
All right, Willie, you were in San Francisco. You came back here. What does the title mean as an end point in Sam Darnold's story?
Well, listen, I think his legacy, if you will, his journey is exactly what we saw yesterday in the Super Bowl. It's one where he was forced to wear the hard hat instead of the cape, and I think that's indicative to who he is. I think a lot of people love the "we were wrong" story, and that's how I feel about Sam Darnold. I think I was wrong with him because I thought he was a bust, And then I watched him get drafted to the Jets, and I watched him in Carolina, as you mentioned. And I credit Kyle Shanahan because I think he said it in the pregame. He was like, "Listen, man, he landed with us." But it was really just him having a matter of survival, who survived it, right? Because let's think about it. He's a first-round draft pick and a seventh rounder, and Brock Purdy starting over him. You talk about an ego, a blow to your ego. Then he goes to Minnesota and have a resurgence, and he lands, credit to Geno Smith, wanting out, if you will, lands in Seattle, and he finds a home. But I also think that when we talk about Sam Darnold as a person right now, he just learned how to survive. He constantly shows humility, and he's one of those guys, man, who you root for. I found myself rooting for him because of what he's been able to endure throughout his career.
Yeah, I'm with you. It validates who he has evolved into as a quarterback. And that's indicative of the process, right? Yep. He embraced his process. He grew as his process continued, where some would falter to the process and kind of waver a bit, question themselves. We heard him speak to it. Coach Mike McDonald speak to it. His teammates. He never wavered. His former USC teammate, I'm drawing a blank, Leonard, the defensive
Williams.
Leonard Williams spoke to it. He never questioned his ability, and that's rare when you talk about before you introduced us to what was going on in this segment. Sam Darnold, his tenure with the Jets, he saw a ghost, and he put all that to rest with this Super Bowl, because what he showed was you can have a pre-existing who you were and evolve and grow and develop and learn and have put on the hard hat, go through the road that is not always the easiest, and come out a much better and a much more developed, mature individual. And as a quarterback, he's done that.
So you guys tell me if this is a little too sentimental. Because I watched a ton of post game yesterday and today, and Darnold really did not want to talk about this story because he didn't feel like he played particularly well. He wanted to give his defense credit. He wanted to give everyone around him credit. He was deferring, except for this when he was willing to give his parents credit. Take a listen to this.
I shared a great moment with my parents and my fiance Katie after the game, and I think that's what kind of got me a little bit. I told me and my dad don't really cry very often. I'm here because of their belief in me, and they believed in me throughout my entire career, and I think that's why I was able to believe in myself almost ad nauseum. Like some people called me crazy throughout my career for believing in myself so much.
Like, Willie, you and I are the parents of young kids. Greg, your kids are a little bit older, but you still have, they're still in the house, right? And so it's like, maybe my kid can be an astronaut. You know what I mean? Like honestly, it's such an interesting, children's book, Disney movie, because he's not a top 5 quarterback. He is still sometimes too turnover prone. This doesn't mean that he's elite, but it's his 5th team and he just won a Super Bowl. That's the most in NFL history. Who knows what happens if he doesn't land with Kyle Shanahan? Who knows what happens if J.J. McCarthy doesn't get hurt? Who knows what happens if, there's a million sliding doors moments in this guy's story, and it ends with, he's a Super Bowl champion, and he always believed in himself, according to him, because he was always supported by his parents. Whether or not the football story is almost secondary here. There's a real life lesson in Sam Darnold's perseverance.
Well, that's the power of fatherhood, right? Because as a father, there's only one man you want better than you. That's your son. Right, and so you talking about a kid right now who, by the way, played linebacker, right? Who dad was a plumber, by the way. Who a lot of people, he could have made a lot of excuses why he wasn't the guy for the Jets or onward and forward. But all he did was show up, and I think that's what we ask for all our kids, right? Show up and do your job, put your best foot forward, and be respected at it, right? Show up to work, and that's what Sam Darnold. He showed up to work time after time, even when he felt like he's been slighted or maybe given an excuse to fail. He said, "No, I'm just going to show up to work." And he talked about it too, also man, I just take a day at a time, right? And when you're a journeyman, that's all you can do because some things are bigger than you. He's just fortunate to land on a really good defense with a really good OC and Clint Kubiak. But now things are going to change for him moving forward because Clint Kubiak won't be there. Yeah. So now he's going to be telling him how good he is.
I'll add this really quickly. He proves that you can win with not being an elite quarterback or top 5 in a lot of those skill sets as far as what you possess, the Josh Allens, the Patrick Mahomes. There is a different way you can win, and he's a part of that. Now we're going to see a lot of teams probably try to find their version of Sam Darnold.
Good luck. It's a tough one to replicate, but it's an incredible story. To the other side, let's talk Patriots here. They're no longer at the doorstep of destiny. That was destroyed earlier. Sorry to Wild. But 2 touchdowns by Drake Maye, overshadowed by the 2 picks, a fumble, 6 sacks, and most of his production coming in garbage time. Mike Vrabel, though, says it's not just on Drake Maye's shoulders. Take a listen.
We'd make a play here and stall, and we'd have a good run and stall, and so again, just the competitive stamina, the competitive, the physical stamina. And the mental stamina that's required in these types of games. Nobody played good enough for us to win.
Willie, what did you see as the biggest reason the Patriots lost?
They got beat up. Bottom line, they got beat up in the trenches. And when you talk about a team right now who I felt like the Pats were looking for something magical to happen throughout the whole game. When you pay attention to their playoff run, the only magic that happened was on the defensive side of the ball with the picks and turnovers and all that stuff. They were waiting for Drake Maye to be kind of the guy to erase some of their deficiencies throughout the game. That didn't happen. They got beat up and then got out coached, right? Because I'm looking at this. If you're honestly paying attention to the Seahawks and Rams tape, right, which we talked about how many points they scored, you watch Sean McVay use his 13 personnel and get after the Seahawks, right? If you have Hunter Henry and Hooper, how are you not using those tight ends to kind of really be the security blanket for Drake Maye? He struggled because when they didn't have no answers on the outside, they weren't getting nothing from Diggs. They couldn't get nothing with the run game. I'm looking at these two tight ends like you watch them have impact against the Seahawks. Why aren't they having a bigger impact in that game? So I thought they failed from a schematic standpoint. I felt they got beat up, and I felt like Drake Maye, it seemed, and I know it's like, well, Willie's a rookie and all. It seemed like the stage was way too big for him in this game, and they lost, man. But I also I was frustrated more with how they started this game from a style standpoint. They didn't look like they was ready to play. They looked like they were just waiting for something to happen, and boom, they was going to turn on. The Seahawks put their foot in the middle of the ring and banged it out, and the Patriots were no work with that.
Look, Coach Vrabel spoke to it. They got out coached, they got out efforted, they got out executed from top to bottom. And you talk about them getting beat up. We kind of anticipated the defensive front of the Seattle Seahawks to be overwhelmingly better than the offensive unit of specifically that left side with those two rookies and Campbell and Wilson, right? If you know that, and I'm Josh McDaniels, this is where I struggled with it, watching all of that last night. And I know I have two young rookie offensive linemen going up against one of the best defensive fronts all year, if not the best defensive front all year. You got to find answers for your young quarterback. When you start seeing them blitz and not just pressure with front four, you have to now side adjust. When you see Witherspoon coming off of the slot and you are not telling your receivers to turn and peek hot so your quarterback can hit them, and when you get on the sideline and you're going over those plays and you actually see the blitzes come and you still don't make those adjustments, I have a problem with that.
So listen, you guys have both played, you know about the adjustments, and I know that athletes, you guys are trained to always believe, like, of course we can win. I don't know. Like, I honestly think that if you play that Super Bowl 10 times, I think Seattle wins 8 or 9 of the 10. I think they are just
I'm with
much,
you.
I think they are much better.
I disagree with that. I felt like, into what Greg's saying, I don't know how you come out of halftime and you pretty much play like you played in the first half. The fact that Vrabel wasn't aggressive on fourth down, the fact that they couldn't have answers, like he's 100% right. If you know that blitzing, they're setting zone the whole game. You got to have quick outs.
Yes.
You got to tell your quarterback right now, if you see it, let it go, especially because all Seattle was doing, they was booking the running back and they were firing one right underneath. Just get rid of the ball. You got to live in manageable downs. They did nothing for Drake Maye to survive in manageable downs. And you watch what Seattle did. All Seattle did was win on first and second, stack drives, and take whatever points was there out the building. So Patriots did nothing.
To your point, they might lose 10 out of 10 times. But if you make those adjustments, what you're telling I'm going to give you every chance to actually land a punch.
Right.
And depending on the type of punch we land, we give ourselves a better shot of possibly winning this game. Though that didn't happen. Mm-hmm. I watched the same blitz come from a different guy or the same guy. And it's like, when are they going to peak?
Yeah.
Witherspoon's fast.
He is fast, but he's not fast enough to where that ball comes and replaces him.
Blitz, I will tell you that. Had him blitz all year, blitzing all over the Super Bowl.
Yeah, man.
Time now for a little edition of He Said, We Said, Super Bowl edition. We listen to the best sound from Santa Clara, then give you the best analysis off of it. First up, Kenneth Walker on the run game and being named Super Bowl MVP. Take a listen.
We worked at it all week, last week, this week, and we worked on a run game, and we knew that was going to make an impact on this game. I give a lot of credit to those guys. If I would tell myself as a kid right now, I would just, I wouldn't have guessed that I would be the one to win the MVP. So it's a surreal moment, and that doesn't happen without the guys in the locker room.
So I'm happy for Kenneth Walker. I thought it was a really cool story and great timing ahead of free agency. Probably made himself a few $1 million last night. And as someone who has gambled on this and watches this and knows how this works, I knew Kenneth Walker III was going to be Super Bowl MVP, but I didn't think he should have been. And he was spectacular. But they won that game because of their defense. If I show you guys what they did in the first 3 quarters before garbage time,
we saw it.
It was, well, I'm just saying, it's literally one of the best defensive performances in the last 30 years in a Super Bowl, 35 years in the NFL. But I think the problem with giving it to a defensive player is like, unless it's like, oh, well, Derek Jackson had 2 interceptions or Von Miller has all the sacks, it's very hard. Like, well, Murphy had 2 sacks, and Derek Hall had 2 sacks and a forced fumble, and Witherspoon with the blitzes. Like, I would have given it to Derek Hall. But I think you could have made the argument for Witherspoon. Like, how do you choose one defensive player in a game like that so they end up giving it to Kenneth Walker?
The same way you choose an offensive player.
Right.
you got to pick one.
Yeah.
Like,
but
it just worked out because offensively, he was the one bright spot that kind of stood out. But when to your point, when you watch that game, you can watch that game 100 times. What's going to stand out is defense.
The defense.
And so you have to pick somebody on the defense. I'm not saying he didn't deserve it. He's not deserving of it because he definitely impacted that game. But when I look at Witherspoon and what he was able to do, he pressure-wise, he got him a sack. He forced a fumble. They picked up, scooped and scored on the one he's forced. Like, defensively is what my eyes saw most.
Yeah, listen, I was happy with Kenneth Walker. I get your point with the defense, but I thought he set the tone. I think they owned the line of scrimmage, and I thought they forced the Patriots to play the Super Bowl on their terms. And Mike Vrabel pretty much said it all week. If we don't stop the run, we cook. Like, he told his defensive front, if we don't stop the run, this is a team that leads the league in rush attempts, and they're relentless at it. And that's exactly how they showed up and played the game. So for me, Kenneth Walker deserved it. Defensively, I'm with you. However you see it is, listen, whoever had the biggest impact, that's the guy. But I thought Kenneth Walker earned it. So
his rushing yards prop all week went down. People just kept betting under, and then he was over in the first half. Like, he was dominant.
He was great.
He was dominant in that game. Let's hear from Drake Maye after a tough loss and tough performance.
That's what motivates you. That's what we just talked about in the locker room. That's what fuels you. And I think that's the biggest thing about life. Is you're going to have times like this, and it's how you bounce back. And I think, all those guys in that locker room are going to use this as fuel, and I think, go to war with those guys anytime, any day, anywhere. It's motivation to get back here and not have this feeling and have what they're feeling out there.
He was awful. he was. I mean, listen, and
but DP, there was a reason for that. It wasn't like he just showed up and was god awful. Like, the offensive line,
he was
bad. The O-line played a big part in why he was bad.
He did too.
Yeah, listen, chicken or the egg, right? Like,
but no, as an offensive line, we're always taught, especially when dealing with a young quarterback, get him as comfortable as possible because that penetrates the rest of the offense. They never allowed him to get comfortable. So credit to the Seahawks defense. I get that. But that O-line was bad.
Yes, the left side of their offense, Campbell and Wilson gave up 21 pressures. That's a bit above average, right?
Yeah, but Will Campbell gave up 14 pressures by himself.
And then Wilson gave up 7. So 14 plus 7 is 21 on the left side. But all year, I mean, the guy finished 1 vote away from being MVP because he was the thing that elevated everybody, and he didn't elevate everybody. Yes, I'm not saying it can't ever happen again in the future, but he was real bad.
Yeah, the understanding that we all had was quarterbacks are what cover and masks what the deficiencies are. So if we knew going into this game they had issues on the left side of the ball, we talk about him being young, well, they're even younger. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's why you have to have a running game. We knew they were going to try to shut that down. You supplement the running game by a quick passing game. That didn't happen. Drake was off. He had his worst performance. And he owns that. He knows it. He talks about being fueled by it. We'll see.
But I'm also pounding on the table. You got to give me a receiver one. Like, A.J. Brown, please. If I got to go pick you up from the airport, take you out to a steak dinner. Am I wrong, Greg? You played receiver. Like, I didn't see one receiver for the Patriots show up in any way, in any facet.
Yeah, what I would say is we got to see how they progress offensive line-wise. Because you can get 4 good receivers, but if you can't protect, we can't run any other plays to these guys.
And all playoffs, right? I mean,
yeah.
Houston had their way with it.
I mean, he had 15 sacks coming into this in the playoffs prior to the Super Bowl. 5 in each game.
Well, listen, setting the The record for most sacks and most fumbles in a single postseason. It's not great. But the kid's 23 years old.
Yeah.
Although Joe Burrow thought he'd be back, Marino thought he'd be back. It's you know what I mean? It's hard to get there.
And Marino never saw it again.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So yeah, tough performance, but still a lot of optimism for the Patriots. Let's talk to the future next on the OT. All right, so Super Bowl 60 just ended 20 hours ago, so they're asking us to look ahead to next year, Super Bowl 61, and the odds are up. And the Bears are nowhere to be found. You got to go to like the third or fourth page on the list. Seahawks, Rams, co-favorites, Patriots tied for fourth. Will, you and I picked the champs correctly.
Yeah.
You want to say it's too soon to talk repeat?
Yeah, I think they have some guys on the defensive side that are going to be free agents, so that's going to impact their defense. But for me, it's the Rams. I think the Rams will have the biggest chip on their shoulder. They lost to this man. Stafford has already said he's coming back. Pretty much the whole team is coming back. So I got the Rams.
Early pick for the Rams.
Yeah.
Look, I like the Seahawks and where they are. We'll see what they do with the offensive coordinator and what that turns out to look like, because that can impact. We've seen it impact teams. But when you're the favorite, when you just win, I think Sam Darnold will play with a different type of mentality next year. So I'm going with the Seattle Seahawks.
They deserve to be the favorite.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot of respect, but they deserve it. They're at a good cap spot. They're on an incredible heater in the draft, and replacing Clint Kubiak's big, but like the whole team should be back. I mean, maybe Kenneth Walker leaves, but like if you have to replace a running back in the offseason, you're in a pretty good spot. They're a young team that's really good on both sides of the ball. People said it was a boring Super Bowl. Not if you bet Seattle. I'm just saying it. Made that game real fun.
Bad Bunny killed it? No?